That is going to be in there, and then some. It's going to be off the ivy. Already home is Derek Lee. Behind him, Mike Lowell. Here comes Hollinsworth in a play at the plate. He slides in safely. It is a 3-run double for Mike Mordecai. It is a base hit.
1 run scores Bernie. Here's Matsui. He scores. Posada goes to second with a double. It is a 2-run double by Posada. And the Yankees have come all the way back to tie the game at 5 in one of the greatest comebacks you'll ever see.
Here's the pitch. The runner goes. The ball is in the air to left field. This could be it. Under it is Kodai. He's got it. And the Fish go to the World Series.
His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone has hit a home run.
Swinging a drive down the left field line. This one's got a chance. Curling. Gone. It's gone. Alex Gonzalez has done it. In the bottom of the 12th inning in Game 4, and the Marlins have tied this series at 2 games apiece. What a tough postseason for Alex Gonzalez, and he delivers in the 12th, and your final in 12, the Marlins 4, and the Yankees 3 on the walk-off jack by Gonzo. A swing and a little ground ball first base side. Beckett up with it, tags Posada. It's all over. That's the victory for the Marlins, and it's a world championship for the Florida Marlins.
The #1 source for everything baseball. This is MLB.com Radio.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome out to Mesa's Hohokam Park as we get ready for the last Arizona Fall League ball game of the regular season. And we are already underway. These guys just can't wait to battle it out as the Mesa Solar Sox host the Scottsdale Scorpions. I'm Victor Rojas. Thanks for tuning in as we will run down the starting lineups for the visiting Scottsdale Scorpions that come into this one at 15-15 here in the AFL. Scott Harrison leads it off playing second base. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, James Loney bats second. From the Dodgers, he's at first. Steven Smitherman in left field from the Reds. He bats third. Colin Porter will play center field from the Astros organization and do the cleanup hitting. It'll be Dane Sardina doing the catching, batting in the number 5 spot. Sergio Santos scheduled to play as Harrison swings and misses on the high fastball, and he goes down for the first out here in the first. Sergio Santos may be a scratch. We've yet to hear yet, but apparently did not make it out to a stretch before the ballgame. Josh Kroger scheduled to bat 7th from the Diamondbacks. He'll play right field. Chris Snyder also from the D-backs. He's the DH batting in the number 8 spot. And Dallas McPherson will do the honors over at third base and bat 9th. First pitch swinging is Loney, pulls one foul up the first base line for strike 1. So once again for the Scottsdale Scorpions, it'll be Hairston, Loney, Smitherman, Porter, Sardina, Santos, Kroger, Snyder, and McPherson. Facing the right-hander out of the Colorado Rockies organization, Chris Buglovsky. Buglovsky 1-0, and a 4.61 ERA. 7 starts down here in the AFL, 27 1/3 innings. He's given up 40 hits, struck out 13, and walked 11. Very slow, deliberate wind-up from the right-hander. The fastball missed high. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Loney. The first baseman, as I mentioned, from the Dodgers, a .243 average down here, a home run. He drives one deep to right field. Back goes up. He's at the wall. That ball's gone. Big fly here in the top of the first inning by James Loney. Puts the Scottsdale Scorpions on top, 1-0. So Buglovsky gets ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes, tries to come inside with the fastball. Just didn't get it in enough. And Loney gets his second home run of the Arizona Fall League, and RBI number 5. And that'll bring up Steven Smitherman, a left fielder out of the Cincinnati Reds organization. Smitherman, a right-handed batter, .313 average, 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. There's a chopper to the left side. Diving stop. Nope. Cates off his glove into shallow left center field. Smitherman will reach. Cates getting a little bit over-anxious on that play at third base. Had he let Kelly Johnson, the shortstop, field it, he probably would have had a chance of getting Smitherman at first base. As it is, it goes as an infield single. So Smitherman on board with one out, and that'll bring up Colin Porter, the catcher. Porter, a left-handed hitter against the right-hander, takes the fastball low for ball one. Porter's average at .284. I said the catcher, he's the center fielder, pardon me. A home run, 6 runs batted in. 1-0, broken bat, slow rolling to the second baseman, Nix. He bobbles it, flips on to Johnson. That's the only out they're going to get at second base. So Nix let that ball play him a little bit. Got him back on his heels, and instead of a double play to get out of it, they forced out Smitherman, 4-6 for round number 2. Porter reaches on the fielder's choice. And Dane Sardina will step up with 2 outs and a man on at first base. Sardina taking his time, adjusting his batting gloves, as has been the case for the better part of the Arizona Fall League. Very slow, very deliberate moving games here. Something a lot of these scouts and general managers that have talked to in the last couple of days have noticed in the last couple of days that they've been here, let alone the last couple of weeks some of the scouts have been here. A lot of it has to do with umpires. There goes the runner from first base. Sardina pops it up on the infield. Middle part, everyone coming in. Third baseman Cates coming in towards the mound, and he will make a circus catch just before he gets to the dirt part of the mound. But the Scottsdale Scorpions put a run on the board. The solo home run off the bat of James Loney gives them the early lead here as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Scorpions won, and it's the Solar Sox coming up as you're listening to Arizona Fall League action live and exclusively right here on MLB.com radio.
I'm Bob Costas. This year would have marked Lou Gehrig's 100th birthday. The legendary Iron Horse of baseball gave his heart and soul to America's favorite pastime, but he gave his life and name to the fatal disease, ALS, now best known as Lou Gehrig's disease. You can help strike out ALS. Call the ALS Association at 1-800-782-4747 or log on to alsa.org. Thanks.
Your grandparents came here.
The long drive, and it's a home run for Joe DiMaggio.
Your parents came here.
Here comes Roger Maris in to score, and Cepeda pulling to second with a double.
Now it's your turn.
Number 3,000 for one of the great players of all time, George Brett.
Cooperstown, New York. A tradition of excellence for 7 decades. Be a part of it. For information, call 1-888-Hall of Fame.
From the first pitch of spring training to the last pitch of the World Series, MLB.com radio brings unique and exclusive coverage of Major League Baseball. That continues during the winter months with Arizona Fall League action, hot stove reports, and baseball winter meetings. In November, check out live and exclusive play-by-play of Arizona Fall League action with the hottest prospects in baseball. December means baseball's winter meetings live from New Orleans as we bring you conversations with the managers and team officials from every ball club. Get the latest news with free agent signings and off-season moves on the Hot Stove Shows. Get updates on Winter League and the news from the minor leagues on the Baseball America Hour. Number one baseball source all year long. This is MLB.com radio. Well, Sergio Santos is out of the ball game. Eric Bruntlett will take over the shortstop duties for the Scottsdale Scorpions as they lead at 1-0. We head to the bottom of the first inning and get to the lineups for the Mesa Solar Sox. At 20-12, heading to that championship game on Saturday. Winners, of course, of the American Division. The Mesa Desert Dogs winners of the National Division at 17-13. So it'll be a battle of the Mesa clubs on Saturday afternoon at Scottsdale Stadium. Leading it off for the Solar Sox is Adam Stern from the Braves in center field. Jason Nix from the Rockies at second base. Kelly Johnson bats third. He's the shortstop. Brad Hopp does the cleanup duties. He's from the Rockies and plays right field. Mike Jacobs is the first baseman from the Mets organization. Gary Cates is the third baseman, batting in the number 6 spot from the Orioles. B.J. Upton does the DH duties from the Devil Rays, batting 7th. It'll be Mike Seastead from the Orioles doing the catching in the number 8 spot. And batting ninth. Batting ninth will be B.J. Littleton from the Orioles, the left fielder. That ball went right into the PA announcer's window. So for the Solar Sox, it'll be Stern, Nix, Johnson, Hop, Jacobs, Cates, Upton, C-Step, and Littleton. As Stern pulls one to the right side, Loney's got it, flips on the run to the pitcher covering, and out at first base. Nice play by Powell. Loney's throw a little bit behind him, but Powell is able to get there before Stern does. So one out here in the first. So it'll be Stern, Nix, Johnson, Hop, Jacobs, Cates, Upton, Seastead, and Littleton. I know I said that a couple of times, but I just want to make sure myself anyways. It's the Solar Sox face the right-hander from the Houston Astros organization, Craig Powell. Powell, a 2-2 record down here, a 3.64 ERA, excellent control. 29 and 2/3 innings, 31 hits. He has struck out 17 and walked 1. 0-1 curveball missing upstairs. Ball and a strike on Jason Nix from the Rockies. Brother of Lance Nix, Rangers rookie this past season. As the breaking ball missed low. 2 balls and a strike. Jason Nix, a right-handed batter, as I mentioned, from the Rockies, a 200 average down here. A home run, 2 runs batted in, 2 doubles, no triples. The 2-1, that one's lined in the left center field. Nobody's going to get to it. It's going to roll to the wall. Nix will round first, head towards second base as Porter, the center fielder, gets it near the warning track, and it's a 1-out double for Nix. Nix with a fastball on the inside part of the plate. Drops some bat head. Got his 3rd double here in the Arizona Fall League. As Kelly Johnson, now for the Braves, the shortstop, will step in. 1 out, a man on at second base, and an opportunity to tie this ball game up. And he's swinging at the first pitch and pulls one wide back of the bag at first base. No balls and a strike. MLB.com's own Jonathan Mayle will join me a little bit later on. And we'll also be joined in the booth by Tampa Bay Devil Rays farmhand Johnny Gomes. Powell, the right-hander, comes set, checks the runner at second, the 0-1. Change up, swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 fastball away. 1-2 the count. Well, congratulations to Eric Gagne, Los Angeles Dodgers, being named the National League Cy Young Award winner. Breaking ball looped into left center field. That's going to fall in there. Being waved around third base is Nix. Here comes the throw from Smitherman. It's up the line. Sardina cuts it off, throws down to second base. Johnson trying to stretch, and he is gunned down for the second out. So Sardina decides to concede the run, as well he should have, because that throw would not have gotten Nix at the home plate. Saw that Kelly Johnson was trying to stretch it towards second base, and he gets gunned down. So 2 outs. Tie ball game now, 1 apiece for Brad Hopp. Credit Johnson with a single and an RBI. His 15th of the AFL. Hopp, a power hitter from the left side. Took a pitch outside for ball 1. 1-0 pitch to the lefty. Fastball missing upstairs. 2-0 now. Hopp, a .255 average. 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He does have 8 doubles. Everything on the schedule last night wiped out because of the rain here as Hopp takes a fastball in there, 2-1. Games will not be made up. So, in effect, everything today ends the Arizona Fall League as Hopp pulls one foul just wide of the bag at first base. Checks his bat, makes sure it's not broken. Count evens to 2 balls, 2 strikes. So going into today's action, the Solar Sox at 20-12, 3.5 game lead over the Saguaros, 17-16. And the Scorpions bring it up the rear in the American Division, 15-15, 4 games back. 2-2, and that's lined in the left center field, base hit. Going over to cut it off is Porter. Rounding first is Hop, and he'll hold right there as Porter gets the ball back into the infield. Well, that's 3 hard-hit balls here in the bottom of the first inning by the Mesa Solar Sox. As Mike Jacobs, the first baseman, steps in from the Mets. Over the National Division, though, Desert Dogs 17-13. Win that division over the Grand Canyon Raptors, who are 4.5 going into today's action at 13-18. And the Peoria Javelinas have struggled all season long at 9-23. Fastball missing upstairs, ball 1. The Battle of the Mesa Ball Clubs will take place at Scottsdale Stadium on Saturday. Ground ball right side. Hairston knocks it down on the dive. Throws on the first from his knees. In time to get Jacobs for out number 3. A great play by Scott Hairston to get the third out of the inning. But the Solar Sox do bounce back. They put a run on the board on 3 hits. They do strand a runner as we played 1 inning here in Mesa. And it's a 1-1 ball game as you're listening to Arizona Fall League action live and exclusively on MLB.com radio.
Right now, fall is in full color at Kohl's. Kohl's has all the brands your family loves, like Nike, Levi's, Dockers, Mudd, Lee, Oshkosh, and many more. Every size, every color, fully stocked. And with Kohl's great sale prices, you can bundle up without spending a bundle. Plus, you'll enjoy Kohl's hassle-free returns, stroller carts, easy checkouts, and storefront parking. So come on in and see what's new for fall at Kohl's. Kohl's. Shop happy, leave happy.
Hey, Cardinals fans, STLCardinals.com is the official website for Cardinals information. Don't miss a second of the action. STLCardinals.com is the only place for live baseball action on the net with game day audio. Watch video highlights of every game with postgame.tv. Heading to the ballpark? Buy tickets to any game and buy the latest Cardinal gear online at the shop. For diehard Cards fans like you, STLCardinals.com, the #1 site for Cardinals fans.
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is the ultimate after you had a successful Major League career. Of course, I took 4 years out for World War II. I joined the Navy 2 days after Pearl Harbor, and I'm very proud to be an American and hope I've been a good one.
Relive your fondest memories of Bob Feller and see his Hall of Fame plaque at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. For more information, visit us on the web at baseballhalloffame.org or call 888-HALL-OF-FAME.
Bases are loaded. There's the hot shot to 11-year-old right fielder Smith. Smith relays the ball to Baker. Baker fires to Ellis. Ellis to Purdy. Purdy to Stern. And Stern can cut off mascot. Now that's
teamwork. Just one lesson kids learn through the Baseball Tomorrow Fund. A partnership between Major League Baseball and its players that connects kids with baseball and softball programs worldwide. To learn more, visit baseballtomorrowfund.com.
Now, top of the second inning we go, 1-1 ball game, and stepping in now for the visiting Scottsdale Scorpions is Josh Kroger. Mentioned that Bruntlett came in for Santos. And we'll see where Kroger will hit. Or Bruntlett will hit, pardon me. The 1-2 pitch, missing, or up and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kroger, a .265 average, 1 home run, 11 RBIs, chops one to the right side. Nix plays it on the big bounce, throws on to first for out number 1. So that'll bring up the DH, Chris Snyder. Snyder also from the D-backs, a .245 average, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, a double, no triples. So it appears that Bruntlett will hit in the number 9 spot. Everybody just moving up there in the order. There's Dallas McPherson from the Angels awaits on deck. Snyder pops one up the right side, and that'll slice into the seats. Ball and 2 strikes on him. Right-handed batter. Tried to go the other way, but he lines one right to the second baseman, Nix, who had to go a couple of steps to his left and makes the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Dallas McPherson, the third baseman, with 2 outs and nobody on. Buglovsky, the right-hander, 2 up and 2 down. Check swing by McPherson. Chops one foul towards that first base dugout. 0-1. 1-1 game here in the top of the second. 2 outs, nobody on. The new lineup for Scottsdale: Hairston, Loney, Smitherman, Porter, Sardina, Kroger, Snyder, McPherson, and Bruntlett. Bruntlett getting the start in place of Sergio Santos, who is a late scratch. McPherson, known for good, strong power, hitting from the left side, swings and misses on the off speed, a ball and 2 strikes. Hit a home run off of Randy Johnson when the big unit was rehabbing in the Cal League earlier this year. He slices one foul along the left field side and out of play. Count remains 1-2. A little bit about Chris Buglovsky from the Colorado Rockies. 6'2", 164-pounder, out of New Jersey. Third-round selection in 2000 by the Rocks. 1-2 fastball. That's pulled into right field, and that could go for extra bases. Going to cut it off his hop's not going to get to it. Right in front of the wall, he picks it up. McPherson will stroll into second base with a 2-out double. It looked like Buglovsky trying to get an off-speed pitch down and away from him, but it hung out over the heart of the plate. McPherson rolled over the top of it out on his front side, but as I mentioned, a big, strong kid was able to muscle it into that right center field area. His 4th double here in the Arizona Fall League. That'll bring up Eric Bruntlett. Bruntlett, a .212 average down here out of the Astros organization. 2 doubles, no home runs, 4 RBIs. First pitch, breaking ball, down and away. Nice play by Seastead, the catcher. Shifting to his right to keep that ball in front of him. 1-0 the count. Now, Buglovsky this past season spent the year at AA Tulsa in the Texas League, 10-10, with a 4.83 ERA and 28 starts. Breaking ball low. 2-0 the count. Top of the order, and Scott Hairston awaiting on deck. 2-0 pitch, fastball. Got the top part of the strike zone, 2-1. Both ball clubs with solo runs in the first inning. Scottsdale with a solo home run by James Loney. Mesa with an RBI single by Kelly Johnson, as that pitch is fouled back behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's where we stand right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 1-1 game at the top of the second. McPherson leading off at second base. Quiet crowd today in Mesa. 2-2 pitch, fastball fouled back to the screen. So we'll reset again. But for the most part, in the last couple of days, we've had some pretty good crowds here in Mesa. Every ball game yesterday rained out. Deluge here all day long. Unusual. 2-2 fastball missing down and in. Full count now. On Saturday, it'll be DeJuan Brazelton going for the Mesa Solar Sox. And he'll be opposed by Josh Hancock of the Desert Dogs. That pitch missed upstairs. Ball 4. Bruntlett is on board with a 2-out walk. First free pass issued by Buglovsky here in this game to go along with the 1 strikeout. But might run into a little bit of problems here. Scott Harrison, a very good hitter, has runners at first and second base and 2 outs. Hairston, 0 for 1. Struck out in that first at-bat. Right-handed batter holds the hands up high. First pitch, curveball, caught the corner. Strike 1. Hairston's average, .365, very respectable, especially here in the Arizona Fall League. That's good for 3rd overall in the AFL. Richard Lewis leads the hitters category with a .404 average. Hairston with 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. The 0-1, and that fastball is punched into right field. Going over towards the foul line is Hopp. Comes over a little bit more, and he'll make the catch in fair territory for the 3rd out. So nothing doing here in their half of the second inning for Scottsdale. No runs on 1 hit, 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. We're tied up at 1 apiece as you're listening to Arizona Fall League action live and exclusively right here on MLB.com radio.
MLB.com radio heats up even as the weather cools down. Join Diamondbacks broadcaster and MLB.com radio contributor Victor Rojas as we bring you Arizona Fall League action. Just because the World Series is over doesn't mean the play stops. Check out some of the best the minor leagues has to offer with prospects like Delman Young, J.D. Durbin, and J.R. House, just steps away from the big time. Victor Rojas in Arizona Fall League action. It's MLB.com radio heating up on the road to the 2004 season. And don't worry, it's a dry heat.
You love the game. You love your team. And you love your friends and family. So to get home safely, you hand off your keys to a sober, designated driver. America's all-star team of sports leagues, stadium service partners, brewers, broadcasters, and traffic safety experts thanks the sober, designated drivers who make sure you buckle up and get you home safely.
Victor Rojas has done it all. He's played minor league baseball, worked the bullpen as a catcher with the Florida Marlins. He was the general manager of a minor league team that won a championship, and now he works as part of the broadcast team for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yet with all of that, Victor still finds time to fill us with many baseball tidbits.
Since you're all fired up, you know, Ricky's a pretty quotable guy.
Yeah.
Just ask him. I don't want to be one of those great players who never made it to the series. He played in 3 World Series. Well, I'm not one of them, so that's 49% right there on Ken Caminiti's claim that at least 50% of the big leaguers use steroids. Wait, it gets better. Steve Finley was Henderson's teammate in San Diego. The tale has them boarding a bus when Finley told Henderson, sit anywhere you want, you've got tenure. To which Henderson said, 10 years? What are you talking about? Ricky got 16, 17 years. Oh, that's classic.
Victor Rojas, attitude, humor, and knowledge of the game. Just another few reasons to listen to MLB.com radio.
Believe it.
Well, Gary Cates leads it off, swinging at the first pitch and just missed extra bases. Pulled one foul past the third base bag to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Tied up at 1 apiece. And it'll be 6, 7, and 8 coming up for the Solar Sox, Cates, Upton, and Seastead. Cates, not a very big lad, mind you. 5'7", 160-pounder from the Baltimore Orioles organization. Hits from the right side, little looper into shallow left. Smitherman coming on, and he will make the catch for the first out. Good off-speed pitch by Powell. Got him on his front side. One up, one down. B.J. Upton will be the batter. Powell out of Holland, Pennsylvania, signed by River City of the Frontier League in 2001. That is independent baseball. Out of Temple University. Gets Upton to pop one up. Shallow right field. Harrison, the second baseman, going out. Waves everybody off. Makes the catch for round number 2. So Powell goes from independent ball, has his contract purchased by the Astros back in 2001. And he's done a nice job since joining the Astros. In 2002 with Michigan in the Midwest League, 5-5. A 2.78 ERA with 7 saves. And then last year at Round Rock in the Texas League, Double-A, 7-9, a 3.89 ERA and 18 starts. As the first pitch to Mike Seastead, and this is outside for ball 1. Seastead, no average, seeing just action in his 7th ball game down here. He does have an RBI. Two-0 fastball in there. 2-1. I know one team that has been very active as far as chasing players down in the independent leagues, and more specifically that Frontier League, because they are typically a lot younger than the other players in other independent leagues. Of the San Diego Padres. Powell's fastball bounced near the plate. 3-1 to count to Seastead. Sometimes players mature at different times in their lives, and more times than not, you'll get a lot of guys, good players, at the independent level. Chopper to the third baseman, McPherson. He throws across the diamond for an easy inning for Greg Powell. Retires aside in order. We've played 2 from Mesa. We're tied up at 1 apiece. Arizona Fall League action continues live right here on MLB.com radio.
I'm Derek Teeter. When I was growing up, my parents and I would go to the schoolyard every weekend and play ball. They teach me how if I practiced and didn't give up, my swing could get better. But if I got in front of the ball and wasn't afraid, I could stop it. But there weren't any shortcuts to becoming a better player. But if I believed in myself, I could do it. Funny, all that time, I thought they were teaching me how to play baseball.
Helping your kids find a dream can help keep them off drugs. This message brought to you by Partnership for Drug-Free America. Visit us at drugfreeamerica.org.
Avoid going into spring training wondering where the free agents have landed and what your team looks like heading into the 2004 season. Let MLB.com radio keep you informed with our Hot Stove Report. Mainstays Seth Everett, Billy Sample, and Jonathan Mayo bring you the most up-to-date information while they chat with general managers, scouts, and those inside. Just because the World Series is over doesn't mean we stop thinking baseball. The Hot Stove Report, found only at MLB.com radio.
Hi, this is Tommy Lasorda. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my good friend Ben Platt for the great interviews he does on MLB.com radio.
Well, thank you, Tommy. You know, I try to interview everyone in baseball, from Hall of Famers like you to the new stars just coming on the scene, every morning on the Baseball Breakfast with Billy Sample and Jonathan Mayo, and afternoons on deck with Seth Everett and Victor Rojas.
Hey, Ben, one thing I don't get is, what's this Benny P stuff?
Tommy, it's just a radio nickname they gave me back in the station.
Benny P. this, Benny P. that. You weren't Benny P. 10 years ago when you started out covering the Dodgers. I'm one of the few guys that knew you when you were poor. Man, I thought you were going to soil yourself every time you did an interview with me.
Man, last year he accused me of starting the Kingman interview, now this. The Benny P. interviews, exclusively on MLB.com radio.
Benny P., what a joke.
On top of the third inning we go, tied up at 1 apiece. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Scottsdale Scorpions. Loney, Smitherman, and Porter. Action already in both bullpens. More specifically, Scottsdale. I would assume because of the fact that this is the last game of the season and yesterday's rain out, Rick Burleson trying to get a lot of guys in, or at least getting their work in today. Loney slaps one over towards the shortstop, Johnson. He picks it up, throws on to Jacobs. We're on number 1. That'll bring up Steven Smitherman. Looks like Jason Frazier, the Los Angeles Dodgers, loosening up for Scottsdale. And there is action off as well for Mesa. That appears to be Tim Corcoran out of the Baltimore Orioles organization. First pitch to Smitherman, swing and a miss on the slider. Smitherman 1 for 1, singled in his first at bat. Was forced out at second base. 0-1 pitch on the way, pops one up, shallow center field. Stern coming in. Johnson, the shortstop, going out. It's going to be the left fielder, Littleton, coming on, making the catch for round number 2. Littleton came out of nowhere in left field. Stern couldn't see it. Johnson had to backpedal. So B.J. Littleton, a nice play by him for the second out. That'll bring up Colin Porter. Littleton's in left, Stearns in center, Hop at right, Cates at third, Johnson at short, Nix at second, Jacobs is over at first, and Seastead does the catching. Porter fouls one back to the screen for strike one. Porter 0 for 1, reached down a fielder's choice in his first AB. Breaking ball. Caught the corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Mike Jost calls the balls and strikes. Matt Schiff at first. Dusty Dellinger at second. And Mike Rakos over at third base. The 0-2 fastball away. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Porter from the Astros. Decent little speed. Tall, lanky kid hitting from the left side. 1-2 from Buglovsky, and that's nubbed foul towards the third base dugout. The 1-2 offering, that's pulled into right center field. That's going to fall for base hit. Stern will cut it off. And a 2-out single for Colin Porter. Puts a man on at first base, still 2 outs. Dane Sardina, the catcher, will step in. There goes the runner from first. The throw down from Seastead. That's going to be in time. Caught stealing. That goes 2-4. Good strong throw by Seastead right on the money. So nothing doing for Scottsdale here in their half of the third inning. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. We're still tied up at 1 apiece as Arizona Fall League action continues right here on MLB.com radio.
This is Andy Pettit of the New York Yankees. It's never easy to stand your ground when facing the best hitters in the game, but with practice, you gain confidence. To teach values that go beyond the diamond, Major League Baseball charities and Boys and Girls Clubs of America have teamed up to bring baseball and softball to kids around the world. Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, boys and girls learn about teamwork, fair play, and respect. Because when kids believe in themselves, amazing things can happen.
Get the perfect gift for the baseball fan in your life at MLB Shop on MLB.com. You can purchase jackets, jerseys, caps, and clothes for men, women, and children. Get a snappy new batting practice jersey or a classic replica jersey of your favorite team. You can even customize your jersey. Best of all, it can all be done online. Plus, the MLB Shop has baseball cards, bobblehead dolls, books, videos, and so much more. All purchases are private and secure, and the MLB Shop accepts all major credit cards. Click on the MLB Shop button at the top right of MLB.com and get that perfect gift today.
Raven, we've got bandits at 1 o'clock.
Fights on.
Engaging now.
What kind of person can handle an F-16 dueling in a Mach-speed dogfight? Why, a math teacher, of course, when she's in the National Guard and Reserve. Nearly half of today's military are members of the Guard and Reserve, but they can't do it without their employer support. If you're an employer, visit www.esgr.org and learn how to do your part. After all, their response depends on yours. A public service message from ESGR and the Ad Council.
Bottom of the third inning we go. It is a 1-1 game here at Mesa's Hohokam Park. And a pitching change for the Scottsdale Scorpions. Greg Powell went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run. Didn't strike out anybody, didn't walk anybody. As he gives way to Jason Frazier of the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. Frazier, a 0-1 mark down here, 2.19 ERA in 7 games. 24 and 2/3 innings, 19 hits. He has struck out 22, walked 11. As he comes in, and he will face 9-1-2 for the Solar Sox, B.J. Littleton, Adam Stern, and Jason Nix. First pitch to Littleton is slapped foul and out of play to the left side for strike 1. Frazier, originally selected by the Tigers in the 33rd round back in 1999. But he was traded to the Dodgers in September of 2002, completing a trade in which the Dodgers sent Hiram Boca Chica to the Tigers for Tom Farmer and a player to be named later. University of Southern Illinois. As Littleton fouls one off and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Split time between Vero Beach and Jacksonville. A ball and AA. And picked up 17 saves at AA. 1-0 and a 2.95 ERA. Littleton hitting from the left side, swings and misses on the curveball, and down goes Littleton. First out of the inning. And that'll take us to the top of the order, and Adam Stern. Stern, a member of Team Canada, coming back to join his ball club as they play for the championship on Saturday afternoon, 1:05 Eastern Time, but we will join you. That ball is lined off the glove of Frazier, goes towards first base, flips underhand to first, in time for the second out. So a nice play by Jason Frazier. Threw the glove up there, and the ball ricocheted towards first base. Loney stayed at the bag. They're going to check with Frazier to see if he's all right, but he looks like he's going to be okay. Hit him off the palm of the glove hand. I said 1:05 Eastern. I'm mistaken. 3:05 Eastern Time is game time. We will join you live at 2:45 Eastern Time. We'll bring you the Joe Black Award ceremony. That is the most valuable player here in the Arizona Fall League. Plus live action, play-by-play of that championship game. First pitch strike to Nix. Nix doubled in his first at bat, so he's 1 for 1. Came around to score. A little bloop single, breaks his bat towards left field. Smiller middle plate on the 1-hop. So Nix 2 for 2 today. Single and a double. And yet another 2-out single in this game, and that'll bring up Kelly Johnson. Johnson headed back towards that first base dugout. Must have seen something on his bat that he did not like. Gets new lumber from the bad boy. And now we'll step in. Johnson 1 for 1. Singled. with an RBI. Was thrown out trying to get to second base by Sardina, the catcher. Frazier will work from the stretch now. There goes the runner from first. That's lined into center field. Base hit. Next will round second, head to third. Porter comes up with it and throws it back to second base on the hit and run that works to perfection. Runners at the corners now for the Solar Sox. 2 outs. And the power hitting outfielder Brad Hopp stepping in. Hopp singled in his first A-B, so he's 1 for 1. Frazier, after getting the first 2 batters he's faced in this inning, has given up back-to-back singles. First pitch curveball caught the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Over to first base. Johnson back safely. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. 1-1 game. Solar Sox threatening. That's a high fastball. It's foul tipped, hung on by Sardina. Ball and 2 strikes. Frazier, the right-hander, gets his shot. Snap throw to first base. Johnson back safely. Pardon me, I said 1-2. It's an 0-2 count on Brad Hopp. Frazier very slow, finally coming set. 0-2 pitch on the way, curveball, chopped foul, first base side. Two, off speed outside. Looked like Sardina was stepping out for a pitch out. But Frazier threw a curveball that almost got the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hopp. 1-1 game. And in the third inning, there's 9 hits in this ball game. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for Scottsdale. A run, 5 hits, and no errors for the Solar Sox. 2 ball clubs that have hit very well throughout the AFL. A third to first move. Nothing happening. Now Hopp steps out of the batter's box, and I guess everyone feels as if they've got nothing better to do today but just sit around and see if they can play a 4-hour game. And this is one of the things we were talking about earlier as far as umpires not getting the game moving along here in the AFL. Swing. Did he go? It looked like he swung. Third base umpire says no, he didn't. but it was a curveball down and in the dirt. And Hop checked his swing, but it appeared as if he went, but overruled by third base umpire Mike Rakos. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rick Burleson chirping with home plate umpire Mike Jost. Two-two pitch on the way. Curveball in the dirt again. Nice play by Sardina. Runners cannot advance. Full count with 2 outs. That'll get the runner Johnson off with the pitch from first base. Frazier will set, payoff pitch on the way. Curveball catches the outside corner. Hop knew it, and he goes down looking for the 3rd out. So Solar Sox threatened but come up empty. No runs on 2 hits, 2 runners left on base. We've played 3 innings from Mesa. We're still tied up at 1 apiece as Arizona Fall League action continues right here on MLB.com radio.
Hey, Fantasy Baseball freaks and geeks. The Fantasy 411 is back for the 2003 offseason with Corey Schwartz and me, Mike Ciano, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll give you the fantasy impact of all the offseason moves like free agent signings, trades, and even front office changes. Plus, we'll answer all your emails at radio@MLB.com. So don't get caught up in all the turkey and all that holiday shopping this offseason. Check us out on the Fantasy 411 every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on MLB.com radio.
Hey, baseball fans. Only MLB.com takes you straight from the ballpark to your computer. So don't miss a second of the action. Check out MLB.com, the only place for live baseball online. Get live games with MLB.tv and game day audio. See live stats with MLB.com's unique game day feature. For fans who just can't get enough of the game, MLB.com, the official site for all things baseball, the #1 site for Major League Baseball fans.
I was 0 for 11, and it was the year that we got Johnny Mines. And I'm going to fix my bat up for him. So I'm up there the first time using the bat, and pitch it through it high and inside. I duck, I got the ball, hit the bat, line drive, base hit, and then I got 199 after that.
Relive your fondest memories of Phil Rizzuto and see his Hall of Fame plaque at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Visit us on the web at baseballhalloffame.org or call 888-HALL-OF-FAME.
What's the deal with Freddie Garcia? Mariner pitching coach Brian Price enlightens us.
What really happened with Freddie is his ball started to come up and straighten out up in the zone, and he was giving up a lot of extra base hits and home runs, throwing a lot of breaking balls to try to miss bats and things of that nature. Kind of shortened up his arm circle to get the ball down and added a slider and moved him over onto rubber. Probably the biggest thing is that he did for himself was just became more aggressive.
The hottest issues in the game. MLB.com radio.
Well, top of the 4th inning we go, knotted up at 1 apiece. Victor Rojas with you here from Mesa, final game of the Arizona Fall League regular season. And the Mesa Solar Sox heading toward the AFL Championship on Saturday afternoon to face the Mesa Desert Dogs. Bringing a new pitcher, Tim Corcoran. And the Baltimore Orioles organization. Corcoran 0-4 at an 8.87 ERA and 23 1/3 innings, 28 hits, struck out 12, walked 18. Swing and a miss. First pitch by Sardina for strike 1. That ball is lined in the left center field. Littleton giving chase, still on the run, not going to get to it. 2-hop. Rolls to the fence, and Sardina will roll into second base with a leadoff double. 7th double of the AFL for Dane Sardina. And that'll bring up Josh Kroger. Tonight on Buglovsky, 3 innings, 4 hits, a strikeout, a walk, 1 run. It was a home run given up to James Loney in the first inning. First pitch swinging is Kroger, fouls one off to the left side, strike 1. Kroger 0 for 1, rolled the ball to second base in his first at-bat. Oh, 1 pitch to Kroger, curveball. Missing high. Looked pretty good from here. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kroger, 4th round selection by the D-backs in 2000 out of San Diego. Swinging a miss on a high fastball. 1-2 now. Split time this year after raking in the Cal League in Lancaster at .341 average, 30 doubles, 6 triples, 5 home runs. Got promoted to Double-A El Paso where he hit .274. Left-handed batter, 1-2 pitch, and he slaps one into left field, base hit. Going to third is Sardina. He'll be held up right there as Littleton gets the ball back in. So back-to-back hits to lead off the top of the 4th inning for the Scottsdale Scorpions. Runners at the corners for the DH, Chris Snyder. Now Seastead comes out from behind the plate. Flashing the signs, defensive signs with runners at the corners, nobody out. Corcoran sets first pitch, curveball in there, strike 1. Good hard 12-6 breaker to the DH, who is a catcher by trade, but giving way to Sardina behind the dish this afternoon. Snyder 0 for 1, lined out to second base in his first AB. Corcoran sets the 0-1, curveball pulled foul past Burleson, the third base coach, and skipper of Scottsdale. 0-2 the count. Top of the 4th, 1-1 game. Oh, 2 pitch on the way. Fastball foul back and out of play to the right side. So Snyder battling Corcoran here. Curveball low. One ball and 2 strikes on the DH. Sardina's on at third base. Kroger at first. 1-2 curveball, chopped foul. Good battle here by Snyder against Tim Corcoran. Well, the Arizona Fall League gave out their weekly honors, player and pitcher of the week honors. Now Seastead calls time and decides to go have a word with his pitcher. For Grand Canyon Raptor Michael Venno of the New York Yankees, Peoria Javelina Zach McClellan of the Kansas City Royals organization were named Arizona Fall League's player and pitcher of the week, respectively, for the week of November 3rd through the 8th. Venno was explosive at the plate, hitting .412. Hit 7 hits, including 3 doubles and a home run. Scored 5 runs and had 7 ribeyes for the Raptors. The 1-2, and that's popped into right center field. Stern giving chase, still moving to his left. He will track it down on the run. Tagging from third is Sardina. He'll score, and that gives the Scorpions a 2-1 lead. Snyder does the job, getting the sack fly. Picks up RBI number 7. And more importantly, puts his ball club ahead 2-1 here in the 4th. As far as Arizona Fall League's pitcher of the week, McClellan, 2 wins, improving to 4-0 on the season through 5 innings for the Javelitas, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits while striking out 3. His overall 1.99 ERA ranks 4th here in the AFL. So congratulations to those 2 young gentlemen. As the 1-0 fastball missed upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes on Dallas McPherson. That one's fouled off of Seastead, takes off his mask. 2-1 the count. McPherson doubled to right center field in his first at-bat, so he is 1 for 1. Has struggled down here, although he's got tremendous power. Just a .203 average, a home run, and 6 runs batted in. There's a ground ball right side. Nix has got it. On to Johnson for 1. On to first, in time for the inning-ending double play. But not before Scottsdale takes the lead. A double, a single, and a stack fly puts the Scorpions on top 2-1. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, you're listening to Arizona Fall League action, live exclusively right here on MLB.com radio.
This is Andy Pettit of the New York Yankees. It's never easy to stand your ground when facing the best hitters in the game, but with practice, you gain confidence. To teach values that go beyond the diamond, Major League Baseball charities and Boys and Girls Clubs of America have teamed up to bring baseball and softball to kids around the world. Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, boys and girls learn about teamwork, fair play, and respect. Because when kids believe in themselves, amazing things can happen.
Get the perfect gift for the baseball fan in your life at MLB Shop on MLB.com. You can purchase jackets, jerseys, caps, and clothes for men, women, and children. Get a snazzy new batting practice jersey or a classic replica jersey of your favorite team. You can even customize your jersey. Best of all, it can all be done online. Plus, the MLB Shop has baseball cards, bobblehead dolls, books, videos, and so much more. All purchases are private and secure, and the MLB Shop accepts all major credit cards. Click on the MLB Shop button at the top right of MLB.com and get that perfect gift today.
Raven, we've got bandits at 1 o'clock.
Fight's on.
Engaging now.
What kind of person can handle an F-16 dueling in a Mach-speed dogfight? Why, a math teacher, of course, when she's in the National Guard and Reserve. Nearly half of today's military are members of the Guard and Reserve, but they can't do it without their employer support. If you're an employer, visit www.esgr.org and learn how to do your part. After all, their response depends on yours. A public service message from ESGR and the Ad Council.
Now, bottom of the 4th inning we go, 2-1. Scorpions leading the Mesa Solar Sox. And coming up for Mesa, it'll be Jacobs, Cates, and Upton. 5, 6, and 7 against right-hander Jason Fraser. Jacobs lines one towards left center field. Going back is Smitherman near the warning track, and he'll make the catch for the first out. Good piece of hitting by Jacobs. Got a fastball out and away from him. Drove it the other way. But Smitherman had him played perfectly, so 1 out for Gary Cates. That chop ball is chopped foul behind the plate. Cates broke towards first base, thinking it was in fair play. And has to walk all the way back towards the batter's box. Cates 0 for 1, flew out to left field in his first at-bat. 300 average down here. No home runs, 4 runs batted in. He does have a double. 2 balls and a strike on Cates, the third baseman. The 1-1 fastball fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch from Frazier, curveball, comebacker right to him. He played it perfectly. Flips over to Loney for the second out. So Cates retired 1-3. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up B.J. Upton. Upton will slap one up the middle. Hairston picks it up, throws on to first, and in time for out number 3. So an easy inning for Jason Frazier here in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no man left on base. We've played 4 innings from Mesa, and the Scottsdale Scorpions lead it 2-1 as you're listening to Arizona Fall League action live on MLB.com radio.
I'm Derek Teeter. When I was growing up, my parents and I would go to the schoolyard every weekend and play ball. They teach me how if I practiced and didn't give up, my swing could get better. But if I got in front of the ball and wasn't afraid, I could stop it. But there weren't any shortcuts to becoming a better player. But if I believed in myself, I could do it. Funny, all that time, I thought they were teaching me how to play baseball.
Helping your kids find a dream can help keep them off drugs. This message brought to you by Partnership for Drug-Free America. Visit us at drugfreeamerica.org.
Avoid going into spring training wondering where the free agents have landed and what your team looks like heading into the 2004 season. Let MLB.com radio keep you informed with our Hot Stove Report. Mainstays Seth Everett, Billy Sample, and Jonathan Mayo bring you the most up-to-date information while they chat with general managers, scouts, and those inside. Just because the World Series is over doesn't mean we stop thinking baseball. The Hot Stove Report, found only at MLB.com radio.
Hi, this is Tommy Lasorda. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my good friend, Ben Platt, for the great interviews he does on MLB.com radio.
Well, thank you, Tommy. You know, I try to interview everyone in baseball, from Hall of Famers like you to the new stars just coming on the scene, every morning on the Baseball Breakfast with Billy Sample and Jonathan Mayo, and afternoons on deck with Seth Everett and Victor Rojas.
Hey, Ben, one thing I don't get is, what's this Benny P stuff?
Tommy, it's just a radio nickname they gave me back in the station.
Benny P this, Benny P that. You weren't Benny P 10 years ago when you started out covering the Dodgers. I'm one of the few guys that knew you when you were poor. Man, I thought you were going to soil yourself every time you did an interview with me.
Man, last year he accused me of starting the Kingman interview, now this. The Benny P interviews, exclusively on MLB.com radio.
Benny P, what a joke.
Well, first pitch swinging to lead off the 5th inning is Brundlin. He grounds one to short. And Johnson throws to Jacobs for the first out. Down to the 5th inning we go. Scorpions leading it 2-1. Tim Corcoran in there for his second inning of action. Scott Hairston will be the batter. Coming up here momentarily, National League Cy Young Award winner Eric Gagne will join me live. First pitch swinging is Hairston. That ball is gone. That is big fly out of here off the scoreboard in left field. A 3-1 lead for the Scorpions. No doubt about that one. Hairston has had a very good fall league. His 4th home run, RBI number 14. So, solo home run by Scott Harrison. Another solo run, 3-1. Scorpions leading the Solar Sox. That pitch missed everybody all the way to the backstop as James Loney's the batter now. 2 balls and no strikes. Loney 1 for 2, solo home run in the first inning and a ground out. 8 hits pounded out by the Scorpions. Swing and a miss by Loney. Good fastball. Came up empty. 2-1 now. Loney from the Dodgers came in hitting .243. That pitch missed down low. 3 balls and a strike. And we'll pause right here as we now welcome in Eric Gagne of the Los Angeles Dodgers, National League Cy Young Award winner. And Eric, first things first, of course, congratulations to you, and I'm sure this has got to be a thrill for you.
Yeah, it's been a great day so far, so hopefully I can do it again next year.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you've been on the phone with pretty much everybody today, and I'm sure everyone's just thrilled with the fact that it is kind of an honor, the fact that the first time a reliever since 1989 has won the award. But, I mean, when it all boils down to it, you look at the numbers. Jason Schmidt had an injury. Mark Pryor came on late in the season. You were as consistent as anybody could ever be in baseball, and, I mean, it's a well-deserved award.
Thank you. It's been great. I had a great season, and I was fortunate. I had a great bullpen. Everybody helped me out, and everything was great this year. Everything worked out pretty good.
Now, aside from individual awards, and of course those are always great, your ball club struggled a little bit, and most of the problems were offensively. The pitching staff was terrific for the better part of the year. I'm assuming you're hoping that the Dodgers go out and try to address some of those issues in this offseason so that that good pitching can kind of push you guys along in 2004.
I think if the pitching is going to be good. Last year was great, and I think if everybody does their own, have a pretty good season, I think we're going to be fine. I don't think we need any help, and if we do, we do. If we don't, I think we're going to be fine anyway.
Now, were you surprised with the way the voting went and the fact that you did pick up the award, or is this something you were kind of expecting?
No, I didn't want to expect anything. I just want, I knew I had a good season, so I didn't want to go out there and just expect anything. I'm just happy I got it, and it's over with now, so just got to do it over next year.
Now, 55 of 55. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And going into every year, I'm assuming you have goals to reach. What is your goal for next season?
That's easy. I mean, if I make a playoff, it's going to be a lot better year than this year. I mean, this year we had a great team and everything. The last 3 years we've been in the race for a playoff, and now, we've got to make it now. We're ready to make it, and hopefully this year we're going to go out there and play good and make a playoffs.
Now, has it been kind of a whirlwind for you? I mean, this past couple of seasons, going from starter, and granted, you did have some struggles, but you were also at times were a very good starter. To all of a sudden coming on the scene the way you did last year with like gangbusters, 52 saves 2 years ago, 55 this year. You're now considered probably the best or the elite closer in the game today. Is that something that has taken you by surprise at all?
A little bit. I mean, you work hard every year. You work hard every single day. You want to get better and better. And last couple of years, I had a great year. I mean, as a starter, struggle a little bit, but I've learned so much as a starter. So I just try to go out there and be myself on the mound. And I was fortunate enough to have a good year, couple of good years.
How much stuff do you try to rub off on the younger players in the bullpen with the Dodgers?
There's not many young guys in the bullpen here. I mean, I'm the younger one there now. Still got to carry the candy bag. So
do you?
Yeah, I did last year. So until Collier came up. So Collier probably, I talk a lot to everybody. Everybody helped me out a lot. Quantrill, Shuey, Mo. Everybody helps everybody out, and I've been lucky enough to be with guys like Mulholland and Orozco. Everybody helped me a lot, so I've learned a lot.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, Eric, we wish you nothing but the very best going into next year. Congratulations again on the National League Cy Young Award, and we look forward to having you on during the season next year.
All right, thank you very much.
You got it, man. That's Eric Gagne, the Los Angeles Dodgers NL Cy Young Award winner. We've played 4.5 here, 3-1. Scottsdale leads it. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live and exclusively right here on MLB.com radio.
I'm Bob Costas. This year would have marked Lou Gehrig's 100th birthday. The legendary Iron Horse of baseball gave his heart and soul to America's favorite pastime, but he gave his life and name to the fatal disease, ALS, now best known as Lou Gehrig's disease. You can help strike out ALS. Call the ALS Association at 1-800-782-4747 or log on to alsa.org. Thanks.
Your grandparents came here.
The long drive, and it's a home run for Joe DiMaggio.
Your parents came here.
Here comes Roger Maris in to score, and Cepeda pulling to second with a double.
Now it's your turn.
Number 3,000 for one of the great players of all time, George Brett.
Cooperstown, New York. A tradition of excellence for 7 decades. Be a part of it. For information, call 1-888-Hall of Fame.
From the first pitch of spring training to the last pitch of the World Series, MLB.com radio brings unique and exclusive coverage of Major League Baseball. That continues during the winter months with Arizona Fall League action, hot stove reports, and baseball winter meetings. In November, check out live and exclusive play-by-play of Arizona Fall League action with the hottest prospects in baseball. December means baseball's winter meetings live from New Orleans as we bring you conversations with the managers and team officials from every ball club. Get the latest news with free agent signings and off-season moves on the Hot Stove Shows. Get updates on Winter League and the news from the minor leagues on the Baseball America Hour. Number one baseball source all year long. This is MLB.com Radio. Today we go 3-1 Scottsdale Scorpions leading it. TJ Null comes in place of Jason Frazier, another Los Angeles Dodgers farmhand. And speaking of the Dodgers, our thanks to Eric Gagne, who joined us live here. It's always nice to talk to those guys, and we welcome in Johnny Gomes of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, farmhand, and it's got to be tough for you coming out. I mean, you're following Eric Gagne, big man.
Yeah, exactly. He had a great season, but listen to what he had to say and the year he put up. It's good to see a young talent up there and doing the well as he did.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, speaking of young talent, you're part of that young core of Tampa Bay Devil Rays that all of a sudden everyone's kind of buzzing about. A couple of years ago, they were kind of the laughing stock at the major league level, and on down nobody really talked about the minor league guys. But a couple of drafts later, Lou Piniella at the big league level, it almost seems like there's credibility, and there is some pretty good young talent that could be there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's what we're saying here as players, man. Is, not to sleep on the green. We got a lot of young talent. We got arms, we got speed, we got power, and we've all played together. We've all came up. I mean, Tampa Bay is not really known for going out and getting new guys and trades and stuff in the minors. So we've all played together. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and once all of us can make it up to the big leagues one day, hopefully, and just have a lot of chemistry up there.
Now, you had an interesting off season last year, correct?
Yeah.
Was it physically?
Yeah.
What happened?
It was a freak thing. I was diagnosed with a heart attack on Christmas Eve and spent 5 days in the hospital, and had one of my arteries just lock up on me, pretty much pinched like a cramp, and had to go to the hospital and was in the hospital for 5 days. And did just about every test they could do on me. I could have left the hospital in 3 days. In the last 2 days, they took my blood every 4 hours, did tests, and everything was, negative.
That's crazy. So everything's fine now? It's just one of those freak things that may never bother you again?
Yeah, it may never bother me again, there's just as good a chance for it to happen to me as to the next guy, how big of a fluke it was.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well, I'm glad everything worked out positively for you, and you look at some of your numbers. You're a power hitter, of course. 2 years ago, you hit 30 bombs. Last year, 17. I'm assuming a lot of it had to do with the stuff that happened in the off season. But what happens down here in the Arizona Fall League? What are you down here working on?
Down here I'm working on, cutting down on my strikeouts and, my outfield play and just playing the game more. With repetition and with at bats, you get better no matter what you're working on, anything specific. Just seeing pitches and playing the game, you're going to get better. So that's why I was really happy to be able to come down here, get another 150 at bats, another 40 games under my belt. And down here is real awesome. Competition's awesome. Pitchers are awesome. Hitters are awesome. Pop-ups and out, ground balls and out, so you really got to earn your numbers out here.
Now, I've talked to a couple of scouts in the last couple of weeks, and you being a power hitter, a lot of guys like to sit dead red and go to hacking on that. You're a guy that kind of likes that off-speed, that big curveball. Is that something that is an advantage or a disadvantage for someone like yourself?
Yeah, like I was, I tell the young guys coming up, when I was in the lower levels, like in the Cal League and Appalachian League, you could pretty much sit dead red fastball and a 2-0 and a 0-0 and a 3-0 count. But, like I learned in Double A and then Triple A and in the big leagues, count pretty much doesn't matter anymore. You could see a 3-0 change as well as an 0-0 change or slider, curveball in any single count. So, I mean, it's just a lot of reacting and a lot of hands now, not just, back-legging on the fastball.
Sure. Do you buy into that whole theory? It's a lot easier to hit at the major league level than it is down in the minor leagues?
I feel it's not easier to hit up there. I feel it's, easy to stay up there once you put your time in and your numbers in. Because, I mean, they have so much, the film work. And once you're in the big leagues, I mean, you put 5 years in, you could have anywhere from 40, 50 at-bats off the same pitcher, But it's definitely not easy to hit up there. I mean, their stuff's moving that much more and sinking that much more up there, and that's why they're up there.
Oh, sure. Well, nothing happened here for Mesa in their half of the fifth inning. They did get a hit, and they did strand a runner. Scottsdale's leading it 3-1. We'll keep it right here. Now, you have some other young guys on this team, the Delman Youngs and the B.J. Uptons of the world, that are guys that may or may not be. B.J. Upton, some say, could have a shot at being the starting shortstop next year. Who knows? But Young is probably a couple of years away at the very least coming out of high school. That's a pretty good nucleus of young, very young talent that could, as we were talking about earlier, being filtered up early.
Yeah, I mean, these kids at, 18 and 19 years old are doing things that, I mean, I couldn't even sniff at that age. The way they're handling the wooden bat and, the way they carry themselves, in this profession. I mean, there's so much stuff you can get lost in and, to be able to carry themselves like they are. Just their raw skills. I mean, these guys are 18, 19 years old, taking BP and just peppering them over the wall and, taking an awesome infield. They both got great arms, and they both have great head on their shoulders, and, both of them were great picks for us. And, I mean, I'm definitely a big fan of them, and, I mean, I'm hoping they'll make it, and they should. The only reason they wouldn't is because of themselves.
Sure.
I mean, they definitely got the talent.
And one guy that who's pitched very well down here and is going to get to start the championship game for you guys is DeJuan Brazelton, and and this is just my opinion, the last 3 weeks, and some scouts may agree, too, the pitching really hasn't been up to par compared to past seasons in the Arizona Fall League, but everyone has talked about DeJuan Brazelton being probably the closest to stepping in at the Major League level next year.
Yeah, I mean, he has big league experience, and he was up there. He might have got rushed up there. I mean, that's whoever's decision. But, I mean, he's down here with a lot of confidence, and he's really trying to, get better. And, I mean, he wants to get to the big league just as much as, the next guy.
Sure.
So, I mean, he's also down here working on stuff and very confident about his stuff. And, I mean, he is a good pitcher, and, hopefully he will be in the rotation for us next year.
Well, Johnny, I appreciate your time up here. Good luck to you on Saturday in the championship game and next year in spring training with the Devil Rays.
Thank you much. Thanks
You
for having
got
me.
it. You got it. Johnny Gomes, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, our guest here in the booth. And not only that, following up Eric Gagne, which is no easy task, as Gagne was on a little bit while ago, just talking about his Cy Young Award. Johnny Gomes talking about the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the young talent that's coming up throughout the system and most likely making an impact here, maybe starting as soon as next year. Top of the sixth inning we go here in Mesa. 3-1, Scottsdale Scorpions leading it. 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors for Scottsdale. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for Mesa. First pitch to Dane Sardina leading it off here. There's a fastball in there for strike 1. Sardina is 1 for 2. He is doubled, popped out. That pitch is in there for a strike. He's also scored a run. New pitcher for Mesa, right-hander Josh Fields from the Chicago White Sox organization, as that curveball just missed away. Ball and 2 strikes. Tim Corcoran went 2 innings. Gave up a couple of runs. Slider in the dirt, check swing by Sardina. First base umpire Matt Schiff says no, he didn't. So the count was up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Jonathan Mayo from MLB.com fame joins me now. Where have you been, big man?
Working.
So
you went from the National League Cy Young Award winner to
Johnny
one of
Gomes,
the best hitters in the Arizona Fall League, and then me.
Yeah.
Talk about a drop from 2 to 3.
It is just going downhill, big man. Full bore, too.
Don't I know it.
From 1 and 1A to like 10.
Oh, thank you for putting me in the top 10. You're being kind.
Sardina swung and missed, so he's down for the first out. And that'll bring up Josh Kroger. So anything surprising today? Other than the fact that it looks like both managers got to get pretty much everybody as far as their pitchers in to get their innings because of the rainout yesterday.
Yeah, because of the rainout. I mean, and this is the last game for Scottsdale, period. And the other game that the Solar Sox will be playing is a championship, which I'm thinking is going to feel a little bit more like a regular game in terms of not mixing up the pitchers as much. I think DeJuan Brazelton, who will start, will probably get a chance to go as far as he can within certain reason.
Right.
I was talking to him a little bit, and he was saying that he hopes to be able to go at least 5, but he doesn't want to say anything because it'll be what it'll be.
Right.
He was telling me a good story that he got a chance to start. I guess it was an interleague game, and he was all excited about hitting. He's like, oh, man, I could get 3 or 4 at-bats. And he's gone by the 3rd inning, so he got 1 AB. So he's like, I don't say anything anymore. But I'm looking forward to seeing him pitch because I didn't see him in the early going. Other than that, it's just trying to get everybody in before they go. I know, especially for Scottsdale, they're just about ready to shut it down and go home and try to reflect on everything that's happened.
Sure. Kroger just walked on a 3-2 pitch. Good off-speed by Fields, but Kroger wasn't buying. First walk issued to go along with a strikeout. So the man on at first base, 1 out. Chris Snyder, the DH, will step up. Did you happen to find out why Sergio Santos was scratched for the lineup?
I didn't find out specifically, but I was down in their dugout when they started to warm up, and he didn't even stretch with the team. So he must be dinged up enough where they decided just shut it down and not worry about it. I saw him with the bat in his hand, so maybe he'll get 1 more AB. But it sounded to me that he had something that was not, horribly bad, but bad enough to keep him out of action.
Sure. The 0-1 pitch, check swing. No, he didn't. Ball and a strike. 3-1. Scottsdale leading it, top of the 6th inning. One pitch on the way, swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Ball and 2 strikes. How about a Scott Harrison's home run?
That's still going, isn't it?
My, oh my, that ball was crushed.
Just in case Diamondbacks fans thought everybody from the farm system was up already. There's still a couple guys who will be coming along soon, and he had some injuries this year that cost him a lot of time and took away a little bit of the pop that he had shown before. And obviously what he's shown here in the Fall League is that he is perfectly healthy, and when he is, he's going to swing and stick. I think it's just a question of where defensively he will end up, whether he actually will be a second baseman or eventually make a move to the outfield.
There goes the runner. The throw down from Seastead is in time. So Kroger caught stealing for just the second time down here. That's the second time Seastead has thrown out a runner in this game.
Shown a very quick release, strong arm down to second base.
Yes, he has, Jonathan Mayo. About as quick a release as yours, big man.
You've seen me play hoops, I guess.
I have. Full count, slider, caught the inside corner. Snyder goes down. Look at what an interesting inning, I should say, for Josh Fields. Strikes out 2, walks 1, and a caught stealing. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Scorpions leading at 3-1. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live on MLB.com radio.
Hey, Fantasy Baseball freaks and geeks. The Fantasy 411 is back for the 2003 offseason with Corey Schwartz and me, Mike Piano, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll give you the fantasy impact of all the offseason moves, like free agent signings, trades, and even front office changes. Plus, we'll answer all your emails at radio@MLB.com. So don't get caught up in all the turkey and all that holiday shopping this offseason. Check us out on the Fantasy 411 every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on MLB.com radio.
Hey, baseball fans. Only MLB.com takes you straight from the ballpark to your computer. So don't miss a second of the action. Check out MLB.com, the only place for live baseball online. Get live games with MLB.tv and game day audio. See live stats with MLB.com's unique game day feature. For fans who just can't get enough of the game, MLB.com, the official site for all things baseball, the #1 site for Major League Baseball fans.
I was 0 for 11, and it was the year that we got Johnny Mize. He said, I'm going to fix my bat up for him. So I'm up there the first time using the bat. The pitcher threw it high and inside. I duck, I got the ball, hit the bat, line drive, base hit, and I got 199 after that.
Relive your fondest memories of Phil Rizzuto and see his Hall of Fame plaque at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Visit us on the web at baseballhalloffame.org or call 888-HALL-OF-FAME.
What's the deal with Freddie Garcia? Mariner pitching coach Brian Price enlightens us.
What really happened with Freddie is his ball started to come up and straighten out up in the zone, and he was giving up a lot of extra base hits and home runs, throwing a lot of breaking balls to try to miss bats and things of that nature. Kind of shortened up his arm circle to get the ball down and added a slider and moved him over on the rubber. Probably the biggest thing is that he did for himself was just became more aggressive.
The hottest issues in the game, MLB.com radio.
Originally. Jonathan Mayo, Victor Rojas with you here live from Mesa's Hohokam Park. Speaking of ho-ho, it's almost the holiday season. Saw Elf, the movie, yesterday.
And?
It was good.
How many stars would you give it?
I would give it out of 5. 2.5. 3.
Right.
2.5, 3.
I'm a big fan of Will Ferrell.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
He can make just about anything funny.
Yeah. It was a good story. It wasn't like a chuckle a minute, but it was good. Mike Gallo comes in relief of T.J. Null. The left-hander of the Houston Astros organization delivers a first-pitch strike. I believe it's Brennan Harris.
It is indeed. Gallo got some big league time with the Astros this year. And Harris has been writing a weekly journal for MLB.com and could figure into the Cubs' second base plans if Marco Zelenik is not brought back or they don't find another solution.
Harris batting in Kelly Johnson's spot in the order.
It's interesting in talking to Harris, a lot of guys who play two positions often say, well, if it were up to me, I would just play second. He likes going back and forth. He says it breaks up the monotony of a long season. He likes, so he'll play second for a while, and then he'll get a chance to play third for a while, and it makes it a little less tedious, in the course of 140 games. So,
yeah.
Guy who wants to be more of a utility guy, even in the big leagues.
Nothing wrong with that, as long as you're in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Well, Brendan Harris, a .312 average down here, 7 doubles, 3 home runs, 19 ribeyes, facing Gallo, who almost looks like a mini version of Wagner. Hard fastballs, that break ball missed down inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Billy Wagner, of course, no longer with the Astros.
No, he is not. That's going to be strange to see him in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform.
Yes, it is. And the Lord help him out as soon as he blows one there at the new ballpark. Well, not like Houston. Fastball got the inside corner. Harris goes down looking.
The way he's been going, he doesn't blow too many. So
you're right.
You're right. But yeah, you're right. If he starts off slow.
Someone was saying, or at least talking about, I don't forget where I read this, but they were talking about Billy Koch and the year that he had 2 years ago with the Oakland Athletics and the overuse that he received in Oakland. Then going to Chicago and basically just having a bad year, getting replaced as the closer, what have you. Many are likening Billy Wagner's season this year to Billy Koch's year 2 years ago. I'm talking about overuse, non-save situations, so on and so forth. This was, I guess, the most innings he had pitched in his career. That maybe that might hamper him going into next year. Your thoughts, Jonathan Mayo?
Why, thank you, Victor.
I'd like to see an end show.
The difference, I think, is that one, Wagner is a little more efficient with his pitches. I don't have number of pitches per inning or anything like that in front of me, but I'm going to venture to guess that he threw a lot less pitches in those outings. He also went multiple innings much less frequently than did Koch, and I think that could make a lot of difference. Yeah, he appeared in a lot more games and pitched more innings, but he was doing 1 inning at a time and only throwing 7-8 pitches in a given inning. It's not quite the same thing as what Koch was doing, and he would go 2, often 3 innings at a time when he was with the A's, and that probably did carry over into this year. I remember a number of years ago they did a study on setup men who threw 100 innings and how the following year or 2 years after there was almost always uniformly a tail-off because of all those innings.
Really?
There are exceptions to every rule.
Sure.
But
you being one of them.
Sure, I could go out there and throw out my 40-mile-an-hour fastball every day.
Hop has a full count, 3-2, just fouled one up the first base line. Hop is 1 for 2, a strikeout, and a base hit. And this kid can hit a little bit. It looks like he pulls off the ball. It looks like he cheats to the inside part of the plate. And most times when he hits that long ball, it's going to be to right field.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And it's the kind of thing that you've heard from a lot of players here, Victor, that in the lower levels of the minors, you can get away with stuff like that a little bit more than when you face pitchers that are a slightly higher level, like you are here in the Fall League or in AA and AAA. And Hoffman was playing in the California League as he lines a signal to right center. as you predicted, Victor, for a base hit.
Yeah.
With one out here in the 6th inning.
I sure did predict that.
You did.
That's his second hit of the game, mind you.
But, you know, when you're playing in the California League, you can pull off the ball a little bit and probably make up for it just because the level of pitching isn't quite where it's going to be, while here in the Fall League, that might get exposed a little more frequently. So, obviously, that's something he's probably working on and hopefully carry on as he moves up the ladder in the Rockies organization.
Sure. Mike Jacobs steps in for the New York Mets.
How was there a Mets player in this game?
I believe that he's on loan.
Okay.
That's what I hear.
I think he was playing for, Milan and Serie A before
exactly. Is that all right with you?
That's fine. I was just a little confused when I saw him.
It sounds like you're a little upset about this whole situation.
I'm not upset at all.
So you're basically saying in the spirit of the rule that we should not be transferring players from here nor there?
You're putting words in my mouth now, my friend.
The 0-1, that slider missed inside. A ball and a strike. One out here, bottom of the 6th inning. Solar Sox trailing it 3-1. We've yet to figure out what a solar sock is. Well, Jonathan doing a lot of research.
I've been looking into it, looking into the archives of the Fall League, the great state of Arizona's history, nothing.
Maybe, and this is just off the cuff, I was falling asleep last night, cuddled up in my bed, and I was thinking about these nicknames here, and Solar Sox popped into my dome, and perhaps, you know, we have the Red Sox, we have the White Sox. Since there's a team in the Arizona Fall League, and it's very hot here in the summertime.
Sunny, often sunny.
Sunny. Maybe they decided, just for the heck of it, to call them the Solar Sox.
The logo on the hat is the sun, so you might be onto something.
Well, I'm just throwing that out there.
The fact that you were thinking about this as you were falling asleep means you need some time off, my friend.
Well, this is true. That goes without question. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Full count now, 3-2.
It'll be interesting to see if the runners will be going here on a 3-2 one-out count.
And trailing by 2.
And trailing by 2, try to make something happen here.
Well, not only that, stay out of the double play ball.
What kind of manager has Pat Kelly been? Has he been aggressive?
He's been rather aggressive. I kind of like that. Gallo comes set, lefty kicks, runner's not going, he throws over to first.
Hoff is not exactly fleet of foot, which might figure into the decision a little bit, perhaps.
Gallo finally gets his shine, the lefty comes set. The kick, the runner's not going, swing and a miss, and down goes Jacobs for the second out. You were incorrect, Mr. Mayo. Runner was not going.
I believe I just asked the question. I straddled the fence very carefully.
As the analyst, my man, that is your job.
So I should blast Pat Kelly for not, or I should actually say, smart decision by Pat Kelly for not sending them.
Exactly. So Gary Cates steps in 0 for 2. He takes a pitch low for ball 1. Cates getting the start over at third base from the Baltimore Orioles organization. Kind of reminds me. I'm trying to think of exactly who he reminds me of.
Eddie Goodell.
Wow, I don't believe that Mr. Cates is that small. A little soft liner right to Scott Hairston for the third out. So, if you are the Cates family listening in, Jonathan Mayo's address.
I can be reached at.
Exactly. Nothing doing for Mesa here in the 6th. No runs, a hit, one man left on base. We've played 6. Scottsdale leading it 3-1. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live right here on MLB.com radio.
This is Andy Pettit of the New York Yankees. It's never easy to stand your ground when facing the best hitters in the game, but with practice, you gain confidence. To teach values that go beyond the diamond, Major League Baseball charities and Boys and Girls Clubs of America have teamed up to bring baseball and softball to kids around the world. Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, boys and girls learn about teamwork, fair play, and respect. Because when kids believe in themselves, amazing things can happen.
Get the perfect gift for the baseball fan in your life at MLB Shop on MLB.com. You can purchase jackets, jerseys, caps, and clothes for men, women, and children. Get a snappy new batting practice jersey or a classic replica jersey of your favorite team. You can even customize your jersey. Best of all, it can all be done online. Plus, the MLB Shop has baseball cards, bobblehead dolls, books, videos, and so much more. All purchases are private and secure, and the MLB Shop accepts all major credit cards. Click on the MLB Shop button at the top right of MLB.com and get that perfect gift today.
Raven, we've got bandits at 1 o'clock.
Fight's on.
Engaging now.
What kind of person can handle an F-16 dueling in a Mach-speed dogfight? Why, a math teacher, of course, when she's in the National Guard and Reserve. Nearly half of today's military are members of the Guard and Reserve, but they can't do it without their employer's support. If you're an employer, visit www.esgr.org and learn how to do your part. After all, their response depends on yours. A public service message from ESGR and the Ad Council.
Top of the 7th inning we go. Victor Rojas, Jonathan Mayo with you here from Mesa Stadium, Hohokam Park, known to those locals. Spring training home of the Chicago Cubs and winter home of Steve Bartman. I'm just kidding. 3-1, Scorpions leading it. New pitcher for the Mesa Solar Sox. It's Alec Zumwalt. And we know Alec very well because he was our guest in the booth the other day.
Yes, he was.
Was that with you or was that with somebody else?
I was here, but I was not joining in the interview.
Which is pretty much status quo. Josh Fields went an inning, struck out 2, walked 1. Allowed no hits, no runs. Brennan Harris stays in the game. He's over at third base. Cates moves to short. McPherson fouls one back and out of play for strike 1.
McPherson moved up in the California League up to the Texas League and just continued on hitting. In fact, I think it was like a week in, he had a 7 or 8 run batted in game once he moved up a level. And I think he may have led all the minors in slugging percentage if you combined his 2 totals.
He's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
That's for sure. Well, let's get you up to speed on Alex Zumwalt, 2-1 and a 5.12 ERA, 12 games. He does have a save, Mr. Mayo. 19 in the third innings, 25 hits, 16 strikeouts, 7 walks. Makes his home in North Carolina, originally from Kingman, Arizona, if I remember correctly.
So it's a bit of a homecoming for him.
Somewhat. And he spoke of it. And you can just check out the archives. Matter of fact,
that's true. If you just, you can either listen to the entire broadcast or go to the pull-down menu on the AFL page on MLB.com. All the interviews that you handled so capably all AFL season long.
I tell you what, someone's in for a bonus.
You for doing the interviews or for me for blowing smoke in your direction?
The 1-2 full on the right side. Knocked down by Nix, picks it up, throws on the run. It overthrows the first baseman. Nice job by Seastead backing up on the play. McPherson is on board with a base hit. That's his second hit of the day. Jason Nix has struggled a little bit defensively today.
There is a reason why he is generally known as an offensive second baseman. Known more for his stick so far than his defense, which may be unfair. You're playing in the California League. You're not always playing necessarily on the best infields in the world. But,
sure.
He is a guy right now who is known a little bit more for swinging the stick. Drove in 100 runs from second base in the California League, behind only Josh Barfield in that category.
Not too shabby, and somewhat blows a fastball right by Eric Brunlett. No balls and a strike. That hit by McPherson, 9th overall for Scottsdale. They got a man on with nobody out here in the 7th. 0-1, fastball away.
A win for Scottsdale would put them over 500 for the season, I believe.
You are correct, sir. They came in at 15-15. Why do you laugh so much?
I just have a good time being in your presence.
Is it the caffeine?
It might be.
All right, just making sure. You're staying in Scottsdale, cozy?
I haven't been staying in Scottsdale, but I'm sure it would have been cozy had I been in Scottsdale.
My bad, in the Phoenix metropolitan area.
I've enjoyed myself immensely.
All right.
Thank you for being such a great host.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't done or seen you.
Just knowing that I was in the same city as you was enough.
Well, the mere fact that I gave you a ride the other day and you didn't, decided not to give me $5 for gas or anything, but that's fine. I'm just kidding. Swing and a miss.
You're half kidding.
By Brutland.
You wouldn't turn down the 5 spot if I handed it to you.
What would I care about the 5-5?
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's DeJuan Brazelton.
Yes, I know.
Hey, that's DeJuan.
He's starting on Saturday.
Yes, he is. The championship game. Going up against Josh Hancock.
Do you see the little dog that he has with him?
No.
This little, he called it a rat with fur.
Nice. Must have just picked it up here in the desert. Swing and a miss, and down goes Brunlett, breaking ball. Down low. First out here in the 7th inning. 1 out, man on it. First, for a guy who's got some pretty good power potential, Scott Harrison. Jonathan?
He certainly showed it in his last at-bat with that home run, and I know you had him on earlier in the season.
I did. Very nice, very well-spoken.
It seems to run in the Hairston family, if you've ever spoken to his brother Jerry also.
I have not.
Very eloquent, very thoughtful about the game, that sort of thing. Unlike me.
Sure. And Professor Mayo has been upset about that for years.
Yes, that's true.
How is Professor Mayo?
She's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Please send her my regards.
I will. She's now Professor Emeritus now that she's retired.
Whoa. Yeah, that's big league.
I know.
That is big league. She got that on her business card, too?
I don't even know if she has business cards anymore, but there's a plaque somewhere at County College of Morris.
Nice.
Yeah. Alma mater of Joe McEwing.
I hear you. Super Joe. Kind of had an off year this year.
A little bit.
But he had a child, too.
Yes, he did.
That kind of balances things out.
Yeah. It gives you a little perspective.
Sure. Zumwalt looks as if he's trying to pitch around Scott Hairston, who is 1 for 3. Got his 4th home run back in the 5th inning, RBI number 14. 3-0, fastball right down the pipe. Hairston taking the entire way. 3-1 now. Lovely day today compared to yesterday. It was just miserable.
Yeah, it's
kind of like northeast weather, wasn't it?
It was a little bit, yeah. Followed me out here, I guess. A lot of rain and cold. Yeah, it was cold. I didn't venture out very much yesterday as Scott Harrison draws a walk to put runners at first and second with 1 out.
Why? It's like Frank Brooks doing play-by-play.
I figured I'd help you out whenever I can.
Can you do play-by-play?
I've never done it.
Knock yourself out.
Oh, boy. And the batter now is James Loney, the fine Los Angeles Dodgers prospect, first-round pick in the 2002 draft. He'll face Zumwalt with runners at first and second, McPherson at second, Hairston at first. Here in the top of the 7th inning, Scorpions lead 3-1.
Smooth.
Zumwalt comes to the set, and here is the pitch. Swung on by Loney, lost it to left field. Littleton is under it, and he makes the catch for out number 2 here in the 7th inning.
So Loney trying to go first pitch fastball. Looks as if Zumwalt turned that thing over a little bit, tailed away from the left-handed hitter. 2nd out.
And here comes Steven Smitherman, the fine Reds prospect. Had quite a year this year.
Are they all fine prospects?
Yes, I guess they are. I need to come up with some other. We don't need to critique my play-by-play as I'm doing it. You don't want to give me a complex. It's superb.
I'm just curious, that's all.
They all are fine prospects.
They're all
that's
fine,
why they're here.
Fine prospects.
Steven Smitherman, of course, hit the game-winning home run in the Futures game this year. Got called up, made his big league debut, had his first big league hit. Takes a swing at the first pitch, is behind 0-1. He could figure into the Reds' outfield plan in 2004, depending on what happens, maybe as a 4th outfielder, or maybe he'll spend some time in Louisville just to play every day. A big, strong guy with a lot of power potential, also can run pretty well.
What's his best outfield position? Left?
I would think so. He does not have a super strong arm, so he probably could handle right field, but it would be one of the corners. Definitely not a center field.
Because Junior's out there.
Right, and he never gets hurt.
No, never. That's Seth Everett's favorite player.
It's Seth Everett's only player.
That's true.
Smitherman, meanwhile, is behind 0-2 as Zumwalt comes to the set. And the pitch. Fastball just off the plate inside, 1-2.
John, I think you're very good at this.
Why, thank you very much. 1-2 pitch, Zumwalt delivering to the plate. Fastball taken on the inside curve for strike 3, and that is the inning.
Wow. No runs, 1 hit.
Couple men left on base.
2 men left on base. We had a 7th inning stretch. 3-1, Scorpions leading it. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live right here on MLB.com radio.
MLB.com radio heats up even as the weather cools down. Join Diamondbacks broadcaster and MLB.com radio contributor Victor Rojas as we bring you Arizona Fall League action. Just because the World Series is over doesn't mean the play stops. Check out some of the best the minor leagues has to offer with prospects like Delman Young, J.D. Durbin, and J.R. House, just steps away from the big time. Victor Rojas in Arizona Fall League action. It's MLB.com radio heating up on the road to the 2004 season. And don't worry, it's a dry heat.
You love the game. You love your team. And you love your friends and family. So to get home safely, you hand off your keys to a sober, designated driver. America's all-star team of sports leagues, stadium service partners, brewers, broadcasters, and traffic safety experts thanks to sober, designated drivers who make sure you buckle up and get you home safely.
Victor Rojas has done it all. He played minor league baseball, worked the bullpen as a catcher with the Florida Marlins. He was the general manager of a minor league team that won a championship, and now he works as part of the broadcast team for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yet with all of that, Victor still finds time to fill us with many baseball tidbits.
Since you're all fired up, you know, Ricky's a pretty quotable guy.
Yeah.
Just ask him. I don't want to be one of those great players who never made it to the series. He played in 3 World Series. Well, I'm not one of them, so that's 49% right there on Ken Caminiti's claim that at least 50% of the big leaguers use steroids. Wait, it gets better. Steve Finley was Henderson's teammate in San Diego. The tale has them boarding a bus when Finley told Henderson, sit anywhere you want, you've got tenure. To which Henderson said, 10 years? What are you talking about? Ricky got 16, 17 years. Oh, that's classic.
Victor Rojas, attitude, humor, and knowledge of the game. Just another few reasons to listen to MLB.com radio.
Believe it.
You should. And speaking of bringing it back, bottom of the 7th inning, we're back here at Hohokam Park. Hohokam. Here in Mesa, Arizona. New pitcher for the Scottsdale Scorpions. They lead at 3-1. Pete Sakaris from the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. He comes in relief of Mike Gallo. Went an inning, gave up a hit, struck out 2. The rest, goose eggs. And Sakaris will face Upton, Seastead, and Littleton. 7, 8, 9. Upton getting the start at DH, 0 for 2. He was popped out to second, grounded out to second as well.
It's amazing to think that he could actually be in the shortstop plans in the big leagues this year after just getting drafted out of high school a year ago. Unbelievable.
Breaking ball missing inside. Ball on a strike.
But as Johnny Gomes said when he was here earlier, he has all the talent. The raw talent is there already. And people shouldn't look at his defensive numbers. I don't think because they mean much at the lower level of the minors. He's just going to get better defensively and just has tremendous pop and obviously runs exceptionally well. Pretty much can do it all on the baseball field. It's a question of experience and time.
Well, Sakaris has fallen behind, 3 balls and a strike. Sakaris is 2-0 at a 9.64 ERA in 11 games. That is fisted into shallow right field. Hairston going out. Coming in as Kroger. It's going to be Hairston, the second baseman, making the catch for the first down here in the 7th.
Well, since you're the Diamondbacks announcer, Victor, what can you tell me about Pete Sakaris?
I've only seen him once. He's a right-handed pitcher. I can tell you that.
Good.
He's about three-quarters. He's got a good sinker. He's a sinker-slider type of guy. I think what I have seen down here is that he struggles with his control at times, and maybe it's because he's got too much movement. But he hasn't really blown me away the couple of times that I have seen him. The one kid that I have not seen, I've heard a lot about, is Dustin Nippert. As Seastead lines went into right field, Kroger cuts it off. Seastead will hold right there with a one-out single. That's his second knock of the afternoon.
Nice play by Kroger to keep him to a one base hit. That double written all over it when it was first hit.
Catcher running, though.
True.
So.
But Nippert the other day struck out 6 in a 4-inning stint. Pretty good power arm. He was playing low A ball, wasn't he, this year? I think he's got a ways to go.
Yeah. I like some Metters one time, and he's got a pretty live arm. That's pretty much it. I think the one that's closest out of all the guys here for the Diamondbacks, closest to the big leagues, of course, is Scott Hairston.
Right. I think that there's a chance that he'll be up sometime in 2004 if he's healthy and has a good spring and good start to the 04 season.
Carr is missed away to B.J. Littleton. 2 balls and no strikes. Littleton came in hitting .220. 0 for 2 today. A strikeout and a fly ball out. Speedster switch hitting, batting from the left side against the right-hander. Takes a fastball in there at the knees.
It tells you a little something about the upper levels of the Orioles system and looking at who is here representing the Baltimore Orioles in the Fall League. Not a lot of guys who are close to being ready to helping out the big league club.
No, you're right. Tim Corcoran, one of the pitchers that we've seen today, struggled today as well with his control, as he has for the better part of the AFL.
Well, they got a lot more talent a little lower down with the draft that they had, and actually the trade, some of the trades that they made I thought were actually very good trades. They got a lot of talent in the Jeff Conine trade and the Sidney Ponson trade.
Sakar has just walked Littleton. Puts runners at first and second base. 1 out, top of the order, and Adam Stern.
Nice for Adam Stern to come back from Team Canada. I don't know if there's anybody else from Team Canada or Team USA who has rejoined their Fall League squads because he wanted a piece of that championship game.
Wants to wear the bling-bling after the game on Saturday.
What is the AFL bling-bling made of?
I have no idea. I have never seen one, nor have I ever heard about it. Now, what do you know? Scottsdale sent out their pitching coach, Blaine Beatty, out there, and opened up our Mike Joseph's got to break up the rock pile. Does so.
Just has dinner reservations, I think, later on.
Well, as we all do. Be nice to get this game complete before the sun goes down. Unlike the other day. But you know what? I was talking to some of the scouts earlier today, John, and I was talking to myself earlier because I was solo for the first couple of innings here. But even the scouts say that these games take way too long. That the umpires, if they're working, what happened to speed-up rules is what their question was. If the umpires are working to get to the big leagues, well, there should be speed-up rules. Get guys in the box. The zones have been terrible as far as the strike zones.
Right. Well, I think it's more that than the speed-up rules getting guys in the box. I would imagine the lack of command from the pitchers is the main thing attributing to the length of games. How long they're taking to deliver each pitch and get in the box probably contributes somewhat, but I don't know if it's as big of a factor.
Well, there aren't too many happy campers in this league. Whether it be coaches, scouts, general managers,
or broadcasters.
Regarding the umpiring. Actually, the umpiring's been all right. I haven't run into too many situations. And then again, I've dozed off on occasion throughout the game. So I've missed a couple of innings.
Amazing no one has noticed who's listening.
Nobody. 1-1 to Stern, fastball away.
There are a fair amount of big league umpires who came through the Fall League as well. It's not just for players. A lot of guys sort of plied their trade here and this was their finishing school, so to speak, as well.
And broadcasters.
Indeed.
I was a minor leaguer last year.
This is where you cut your teeth.
That's right. 2-1 to Stern. There's a chopper to the second baseman, Hairston. Over to Brundtland for 1. The first in time for the inning-ending double play. So nothing doing for Mesa here in their half of the 7th inning. No runs on 1 hit. They do strand a runner. We've played 7. 3-1. Scottsdale leads it. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live on MLB.com radio.
Right now, fall is in full color at Kohl's. Kohl's has all the brands your family loves, like Nike, Levi's, Dockers, Mudd, Lee, Oshkosh, and many more. Every size, every color, fully stocked. And with Kohl's great sale prices, you can bundle up without spending the bundle. Plus, you'll enjoy Kohl's hassle-free returns, stroller carts, easy checkouts, and storefront parking. So come on in and see what's new for fall at Kohl's. Kohl's. Shop happy, leave happy.
Hey, Cardinals fans, STLCardinals.com is the official website for Cardinals information. Don't miss a second of the action. STLCardinals.com is the only place for live baseball action on the net with game day audio. Watch video highlights of every game with postgame.tv. Heading to the ballpark? Buy tickets to any game and buy the latest Cardinal gear online at the shop.
For diehard Cards fans like you, STLCardinals.com, the #1 site for Cardinals fans.
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is the ultimate after you had a successful Major League career. Of course, I took 4 years out for World War II. I joined the Navy 2 days after Pearl Harbor, and I'm very proud to be an American and hope I've been a good one.
Relive your fondest memories of Bob Feller and see his Hall of Fame plaque at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. For more information, visit us on the web at baseballhalloffame.org or call 888-HALL-OF-FAME.
Bases are loaded. There's the hot shot to 11-year-old right fielder Smith. Smith relays the ball to Baker. Baker fires to Ellis. Ellis to Purdy. Purdy to Sternson. And Sternson cut off mascot. Now that's
teamwork. Just one lesson kids learn through the Baseball Tomorrow Fund, a partnership between Major League Baseball and its players that connects kids with baseball and softball programs worldwide. To learn more, visit baseballtomorrowfund.com.
Go ahead, there's one thing here.
Top of the 8th inning we go. Jonathan Mesa talking about his experiences here in Mesa. 3-1. Scottsdale Scorpions leading it. We just had a bird hit the window. That's what that noise was. So Jonathan turning a little bit red here. New pitcher for Mesa, Justin Heisman, the right-hander out of the Colorado Rockies organization. I kind of like having this sinus infection because I get this real deep voice.
It works for you.
Yeah. Try it. Someone's walking by our crowd mic. First pitch fastball in there to Eric Brunlin. And it was a bald bird that just smacked into our window, as a matter of fact.
It was, yes. Absolutely. There are a few bald eagles out here.
Justin Heisman, no record of .529 ERA, 12 games, 17 innings, 18 hits, 11 strikeouts, 10 walks. Zumwalt came in for an inning, gave up a hit, struck out 2, walked 1. Ground ball to the right side. Nix, the second baseman's got it, picks it up, throws on to first, and in time for the first out. Pardon me, that was Colin Porter, not Eric Brunlin from the Astros, both from the Astros. So one out here to lead off the 8th inning, and Dane Sardina, the catcher, will be the batter.
Pretty talented family. Sardina, his brother, is in the Yankees organization, played a couple positions already, but I'm always impressed with these families that have more than one player who can play at that level. Of course, for the Rojas family, you're used to that.
Well, I don't know about that.
A bunch of people played at a pretty high level in the Rojas family.
Swing and a miss by Sardina, strike 1. Now, that's neither here nor there, gentlemen.
True, but it is the 8th inning of an Arizona Fall League game.
Sure. Breaking ball missing down and away. Evens the count of the ball and a strike. 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Scottsdale Scorpions, led by Rick Burleson. He of the Cincinnati Reds organization. Swing and a miss by Sardine on the breaking ball. Ball and 2 strikes. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for Pat Kelly's Mesa's Solar Sox, who are heading to the championship game. And not the Yankee farmhand, Pat Kelly.
I thought it was the former Yankee Pat Kelly.
You are incorrect. Line shot right to the third baseman Harris for the second out.
I realized that once I saw him for the first time.
Oh.
He doesn't look anything like the Pat Kelly that played for the Yankees.
Now, this Pat Kelly, a former catcher. Built like a catcher. The 2 outs to start off the 8th inning. And the right fielder Josh Kroger from the Arizona Diamondbacks steps in. Takes a pitch low for ball 1. Kroger's got a single, a ground out, and a walk, so he is 1 for 2. Caught stealing in the 6th. Fastball, caught the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. We might actually set an Arizona Fall League record for pitchers used in this game.
Do you have any idea what that record is?
I have no idea. None. Although, I could check the Arizona Fall League record that comes with the media guide. I don't believe that they have that listed. Now, I may be wrong.
It's been a steady parade every inning, bringing another guy in.
Well, it looks like as if Ken Harvey's record, 479 average, is not going to be broken. There's a chopper to first, flipped on to Heisman, the pitcher, pardon me, for the 3rd out. So Justin Heisman comes in, retires the side in order. We enter the bottom of the 8th inning. Scottsdale leading it 3-1. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live and exclusively on MLB.com radio.
MLB.com radio heats up even as the weather cools down. Join Diamondbacks broadcaster and MLB.com radio contributor Victor Rojas as we bring you Arizona Fall League action. Just because the World Series is over doesn't mean the play stops. Check out some of the best the minor leagues has to offer with prospects like Delman Young, J.D. Durbin, and J.R. House, just steps away from the big time. Victor Rojas in Arizona Fall League action. It's MLB.com radio heating up on the road to the 2004 season. And don't worry, it's a dry heat.
You love the game. You love your team. And you love your friends and family. So to get home safely, you hand off your keys to a sober, designated driver. America's all-star team of sports leagues, stadium service partners, brewers, broadcasters, and traffic safety experts thanks to sober, designated drivers who make sure you buckle up and get you home safely.
Victor Rojas has done it all. He played minor league baseball, worked the bullpen as a catcher with the Florida Marlins. He was the general manager of a minor league team that won a championship, and now he works as part of the broadcast team for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yet with all of that, Victor still finds time to fill us with many baseball tidbits.
Since you're all fired up, Ricky's a pretty quotable guy.
Yeah.
Just ask him. I don't want to be one of those great players who never made it to the series. He played in 3 World Series. Well, I'm not one of them, so that's 49% right there on Ken Caminiti's claim that at least 50% of the big leaguers use steroids. Wait, it gets better. Steve Finley was Henderson's teammate in San Diego. The tale has them boarding a bus when Finley told Henderson, sit anywhere you want, you've got tenure. To which Henderson said, 10 years? What are you talking about? Ricky got 16, 17 years. Oh, that's classic.
Victor Rojas, attitude, humor, and knowledge of the game. Just another few reasons to listen to MLB.com radio.
Believe it.
Welcome back to Mesa, Arizona. Spring training home of your Chicago Cubs, and right now the home for the Mesa Solar Sox and Mesa Desert Dogs, who will meet in Saturday's AFL Championship game. Jonathan Mayo along with Victor Rojas. 3-1, the Scottsdale Scorpions have the lead as we head into the bottom of the 8th. And we've got another Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher on the mound, Victor.
Yes, we do. Brandon Metters.
Tall right-hander.
6'2", 196-pounder. Comes in a relief of Pete Sakaris. Sakaris gives up a hit and a walk, and the rest goose eggs.
Metters will face Jason Nix to start the bottom of the 8th inning, the Rockies' second base prospect.
I started to go through the Arizona Fall League records here. Ken Harvey set the record for average last year, 479. That ain't going to be touched this year.
Is Richie Lewis
404?
What happens if he goes like 5 for 5 in the championship? Is he on one of the teams? I don't even know what team he's on.
No, he's on the Solar Sox, and he didn't play today.
Oh, but he could play on Saturday.
Yeah, but I think that's just regular season.
You're probably right.
Tag Bozade's record of home runs, 12. Not going to be broken. Unless Jason Du Bois, this game goes into extra inning and he hits 4. Which isn't going to happen. Slugging percentage, I don't have that on me. It's 752 by Ken Harvey.
Jason Nix takes a 3-0 fastball right down the pipe, 3-1. Attaboy.
Let's see, RBIs. 44 by Orlando Miller back in 1993.
I remember Orlando Miller.
Dan Johnson's got 30 this year.
So that record is safe.
Yes, it is.
93 was just the second year of the league's existence.
You are correct. Nix walked. Man on a board for the Mesa Solar Sox. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. Brendan Harris, the batter. Let me see. What's the other one? Stolen bases. Not going to be broken this year. Rich Thompson, Desert Dogs, 13. The record, can you guess? 24 by Rick Holyfield.
Wow.
That was in 1994.
Wonder what Rick Holyfield is doing now.
Caught stealing 11
Also Rick Holyfield?
No, Kevin Stalker in 92 and Damian Jackson in 95. Some interesting names here.
You had a couple guys who just pretty much anytime they got to first base, they just took off.
Run scored is not going to be broken. Chad Hermanson, back in 1997, 45 runs scored.
I think Chad Hermanson had a few of the AFL records before Ken Harvey shattered some of them last year. Just shows you, reading off some of these names, that a good AFL does not guarantee a prolonged Major League career.
No. Oh, this pitching. 29 games is the record. Eric Ludwig at 96.
20, would he pitch every day?
He had to pitch well, I don't know what the schedule was back then, but it's 36 games today.
Couldn't have been much more than that.
29 games.
Hopefully he only pitched to a batter each time.
Games finished. Eric Ludwig, 27. Harris pops one up into center field. That is caught by Porter for out number one.
The only thing I can think of is maybe he had missed the entire season, and so he was trying to get in as many appearances as possible. But geez,
that's a possibility. All right, lowest ERA, not going to be broken. 0.41. Elvin Nina, back in 2000.
El Nina.
Yeah. Saves 17. Eric Ludwig.
That's a good regular season.
The leader here this year?
4, right? Joe Valentine.
3. Joe Valentine.
He picked up his 4th the other day.
Oh,
that
did he?
May not be updated. There was a night game the night before last.
Ground ball through the right side into right field. Hop's got a base hit. Nix will hold up at second base. So Brett Hop's 3 for 4 with 3 singles. But runners at first and second with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Solar Sox trailing at 3-1. And Mike Jacobs will be the batter. This is kind of fun checking this out.
I was talking to Joe Valentine a little bit before the game. Very nice young man. Certainly been run around Major League Baseball over the last few years, taken in the Rule 5 draft by the Tigers, sent back to the White Sox a few weeks after that, traded to the A's, and then deadline time traded to the Cincinnati Reds in the Jose Guillen trade. I almost said Juan Encarnacion, but that would be incorrect. Jose Guillen trade. And I think it might be a good situation for him. They definitely have some spots in that bullpen open.
Sure. You know who's given up the most home runs?
No.
Jim Brower, 10. Back in 97. Bakes on balls,
When was blowing out that year?
Eric Hilges. Most wins for a team, 33. So the schedule must have been a lot bigger. Most losses, 35, back in 95. That's not a very good season.
No.
Who was managing that Scottsdale Scorpions team?
That 94 season was really sort of a watershed season for the Fall League. You know, the first couple of years it was a curiosity, and the Major League teams were sending players, but almost begrudgingly. They didn't know exactly what to expect, but because there was no other baseball going on in 94, the Fall League was it. So all of the scouts, all the GMs, all the player developers, everyone came here and saw what it could be in terms of a means of developing players and keeping tabs on players, and that was really the year that it took off in terms of getting the commitment from all the Major League clubs to send their best prospects each and every season.
Sure. 2 balls and a strike on Jacobs. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners at first and second base. Jacobs this afternoon 0 for 3, including a strikeout. 2-1 fastball away. 3 balls and a strike. So Metters has struggled in this inning with his control.
Jacobs is playing first today, but I think he's caught a lot in his minor league career.
He is a catcher.
He's in Double-A. Shared some time with Justin Huber, that's top catching prospect, in the second half of the year after Huber got promoted.
3-1 fastball away. Ball 4.
Metter's having a little problem with his command.
Yeah, that looked pretty close to be called a strike, but not the case this afternoon.
You're a homer.
Going into the early evening. I want to go home.
Rather you want to go home.
I want to go homer.
I just lob them up so you can slam them down.
Bases juiced now for the Solar Sox. Bottom of the 8th inning. They're trailing it by 2. Gary Cates from the Baltimore Orioles organization will step in. Looking for his first hit of the afternoon.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Gary Cates has never hit a grand slam in his life.
Perhaps.
What
a time for it now. First pitch from Metters, fastball in, ball one.
I'd be curious to find out how many home runs he has.
Well, you ask and I shall deliver, big man. Gary Cates has a total of 9 minor league home runs. Wow. He had 3 this past season. Career .277 average. High fastball missing inside, 2-0.
B.J. Upton stands on deck.
And he's stolen 67 bases throughout his career. 39th round selection back in '99 out of Brandon High School in Florida.
I guess he's the kind of guy who has constantly had to get past people's perceptions of what he can do on the baseball field.
He was hacking right there on that fastball.
He was right on it, wasn't he?
Fouled it straight back into the screen. Case wanting to leave right there. 2-1 the count. Bases full of solar stocks.
Don't look straight at him.
The 2-1. There's a little fly ball down the left field line without a hook into the seats. Not enough juice to get it down towards the fence. But the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Metters got it on the hands of Cates.
Talking to the Solar Sox before the game, they're actually pumped for this championship game. It's the kind of thing that starting out was, they were here just to learn and play, and after a while they started winning some games, and then they said, we might as well, if we're here, we might as well try to win.
Exactly.
Try to get there. B.J. Upton said that Brendan Harris had a walk-off grand slam home run, and he said that was when he thinks it first sparked him thinking, hey, this could be fun.
Oh, 2-2, that's pulled foul. Fastball high. That was pretty deep into the seats down in that little corner. So Cates trying to prove you wrong, Mr. Mayo.
By all means.
All he needs here, though, is a double, to be perfectly honest with you. It could clear the bases. 390 to the power alleys, both at left and right field.
Single and pretty much anywhere but left might tie this game up.
Metters sets, 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, check swing. No, he didn't hold up. And down goes Cates, who has some words for home plate umpire Mike Jost.
It's not often that you'll see the home plate umpire make the call so decisively on a check swing like that. But I guess from his vantage point, it was clear that Cates had gone around.
So it'll be up to B.J. Upton. Trying to keep this inning going. Still bases loaded. 2 outs here at the bottom of the 8th. Solar Sox trailing it 3-1. Upton also looking for his first hit. He's popped out twice to the second baseman and grounded out there. Fastball, inside corner, strike 1.
You've seen him more than I have, Victor. Has Upton impressed you?
I haven't seen him play the field at all. Every time I've seen him, he's been the DH. Yeah, I think it would be hard-pressed to see him at the Major League level next year.
This is the Devil Rays, though, or
true.
Not exactly the same situation as maybe some other organizations.
0-1 curveball down low, ball on the strike.
I think he pushed his timetable up a little bit when they had him jump a level or two up to Double-A, and he did fine in Orlando. So there was suddenly the thinking probably in the organization and probably in his mind that he might be able to get up there sooner rather than later.
Upton calls time, steps out of the box, now steps back in. Metters comes set, the 1-1 from the right-hander, slider down low. 2 balls and a strike. Good hitters count here. 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball hit to the right side. Hairston, second baseman's got it. Flips on the first in time for out number 3. So B.J. Upton is retired all 4 times right to the second baseman. Solar Sox load him up, get nothing to show for it. No runs, 1 hit. 3 left on. We've played 8 innings, and it's a 3-1 lead for Scottsdale. Arizona Fall League action continues right here on MLB.com radio.
I'm Derek Jeter. When I was growing up, my parents and I would go to the schoolyard every weekend and play ball. They teach me how if I practiced and didn't give up, my swing could get better. But if I got in front of the ball and wasn't afraid, I could stop it. But there weren't any shortcuts to becoming a better player. But if I believed in myself, I could do it. Funny, all that time, I thought they were teaching me how to play baseball.
Helping your kids find a dream can help keep them off drugs. This message brought to you by Partnership for Drug-Free America. Visit us at drugfreeamerica.org.
Avoid going into spring training wondering where the free agents have landed and what your team looks like heading into the 2004 season. Let MLB.com radio keep you informed with our Hot Stove Report. Mainstays Seth Everett, Billy Sample, and Jonathan Mayo bring you the most up-to-date information while they chat with general managers, scouts, and those inside. Just because the World Series is over doesn't mean we stop thinking baseball. The Hot Stove Report, found only at MLB.com radio.
Hi, this is Tommy Lasorda. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my good friend, Ben Platt, for the great interviews he does on MLB.com radio.
Well, thank you, Tommy. You know, I try to interview everyone in baseball, from Hall of Famers like you to the new stars just coming on the scene, every morning on the Baseball Breakfast with Billy Sample and Jonathan Mayo, and afternoons on deck with Seth Everett and Victor Rojas.
Hey, Ben, one thing I don't get is, what's this Benny P stuff?
Tommy, it's just a radio nickname they gave me back in the station.
Benny P this, Benny P that. You weren't Benny P 10 years ago when you started out covering the Dodgers. I'm one of the few guys that knew you when you were poor. Man, I thought you were going to soil yourself every time you did an interview with me.
Man, last year he accused me of starting the Kingman interview, now this. The Benny P interviews, exclusively on MLB.com radio.
Benny P, what a joke.
Out of the ninth inning we go, 3-1, Scottsdale leading it. Victor Rojas alongside my cohort, Jonathan Mayo, the bald one. How do you keep that thing from not being shiny? I'm just curious. A lot of moisturizer?
A lot of moisturizer, some powder when necessary.
Yeah?
Yeah, people, go powder the nose. I just go powder the onion.
Powder the dome?
Yeah, powder the dome.
Nice. Aaron Rakers from the Baltimore Orioles comes in relief of Justin Heisman, who won an inning and gave up nothing. First pitch swing is Chris Snyder. Pops one up behind the home plate area. I have no idea where it's at. There it is. Strike one.
Almost hits Astros assistant GM Tim Purpura right on the head.
That would not have been good.
No, not for the Astros organization.
Bill Stoneman sitting down there, Anaheim Angels.
Keith Law and the Blue Jays player development group also is on hand.
0-1 from Rakers, off speed outside. One ball and a strike. Rakers with 5 wins leads the Arizona Fall League. 5-0 and a 2.08 ERA in 12 games. Trying to keep it right there for the Mesa Solar Sox. Snyder pops one up. That's a big league fly. Harris will give a look, but it'll go into the seats. That fan almost got
hit twice.
Domed.
His effort to get out of the way of the ball, he almost ended up right under it.
Yeah, valiant does not come to mind.
No.
No balls and 2 strikes on Snyder, who is 0 for 3. Pardon me, 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Off speed, missing high. A ball and 2 strikes. Planes flying overhead.
I feel like we're calling a game at Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
They call this the Shea Stadium of Arizona, don't they?
I have no idea.
I just did.
I will take your word for it. The 1-2, fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Don't be afraid now. Rakers sets 2-2, fastball low. I thought it was 2-2. It's actually 3-2, so Raker's on board with the walk. Or Snyder's on board with the walk.
Either that or they changed the rules on us.
3-pitch walks. So Dallas McPherson will step up. Nobody out in the ninth. Scottsdale leading it 3-1. First pitch fastball in there on the inside part of the plate. Strike one. McPherson is 2 for 3. Double, a single, and he's grounded into a double play. Chops one foul behind the dish. And Raker's quickly ahead of McPherson. No balls and 2 strikes.
I don't remember exactly the rankings among third base prospects, but McPherson's got to be in the top 2 or 3 third base prospects in all of baseball right now, especially with the year that he put up in 2003.
Is that one of the reasons why maybe the Anaheim Angels have floated the idea of trading Troy Glaus? Swing and a miss on the off speed, and down goes McPherson.
It helps to know that you have a guy like that who, I mean, he's probably another year away. But if they're fairly certain that Troy Glaus is not going to be able to re-sign with them, and they want to trade him rather than not get anything in return for him, knowing that you have a guy that even if you have to sort of eat a year or part of a year without a regular third baseman, I'm sure that figures into their thinking.
Stepping in now is Eric Bruntlett, the shortstop. Takes a pitch down low for ball one.
And they've got a pretty good system. I mean, they've brought a lot of guys up that they've developed, or minor leaguers that they've gotten in trade. So obviously they're not afraid to go that route while trying to be competitive.
1-0 pitch, caught the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch on the way, swing and a miss. And Rakers has come on, thrown good off-speed pitches. Snyder on at first base with 1 out. The 1-2 pitch, fastball caught the inside corner, down goes Bruntlett. Second strikeout of the inning for Aaron Rakers. And that'll bring up Scott Hairston.
Do you think that Hairston could figure into their plans in 2004, the big league level, or there need to be some injuries?
I think there needs to be some trades in order for that to happen. Because right now you got Matt Cata, Junior Spivey, and Craig Counsell. Breaking ball, caught the outside corner, strike one. Hairston this afternoon is 1 for 3. Home run, solo shot, his 4th. And he's walked.
I'm surprised that they haven't asked him to play any outfield yet. A lot of people think that's where he should play anyway.
That's a possibility, too. Swing and a miss on the off speed.
Might mean a faster ticket to the big leagues for him.
Sure. Three to 1, Scottsdale leading it 2 outs. They're up here in the ninth. 0-2 pitch, off speed low. Hairston was able to lay off that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, Pat Kelly will send up 8, 9, and 1. Steve Stett, Littleton, and Stern due up.
Although I think we did see Johnny Gomes warming up in the on-deck circle at the end of last inning, and he's got 1 knee up at the top of the dugout.
1-2 fastball, chop, foul, past the bag at third. So the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
But I know you'd almost rather wait to have Gomes to see if you can get a runner on. Take advantage of that power.
I would. Or some would argue just go ahead and get a 1. You can get a solo shot and make it a 1-run game. The 1-2 pitch to Hairston. Change up, popped up right side, and that'll get into the seats. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good hustle there.
It sure was. Nate Bland, left-hander from the Astros, warming up in the pen for Scottsdale. So it is assumed that he will come in to try to close it out. Rakers come set. 1-2 pitch on the way. Slider caught the outside corner. Down goes Harrison. So Rakers essentially strikes out the side. 3 punch-outs and a walk. Nothing doing for Scottsdale in their half of the ninth inning. We head to the bottom of the ninth. 3-1. Scorpions leading it. You're listening to Arizona Fall League action live and exclusively right here on MLB.com radio.
Hey, Fantasy Baseball freaks and geeks. The Fantasy 411 is back for the 2003 offseason with Corey Schwartz and me, Mike Spiano, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll give you the fantasy impact of all the offseason moves like free agent signings, trades, and even front office changes. Plus, we'll answer all your emails at radio@MLB.com. So don't get caught up in all the turkey and all that holiday shopping this offseason. Check us out on the Fantasy 411 every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on MLB.com radio.
Hey, baseball fans. Only MLB.com takes you straight from the ballpark to your computer. So don't miss a second of the action. Check out MLB.com, the only place for live baseball online. Get live games with MLB.
Brian Price enlightens us.
What really happened with Freddie is his ball started to come up and straighten out up in the zone, and he was giving up a lot of extra base hits and home runs, throwing a lot of breaking balls to try to miss bats and things of that nature. We kind of shortened up his arm circle to get the ball down and added a slider and moved him over on the rubber. Probably the biggest thing is that he did for himself was just became more aggressive.
The hottest issues in the game, MLB.com radio.
Now, bottom of the ninth inning we go. Victor Rojas alongside Jonathan Mayo. 3-1. Scottsdale leading it. And I said Nate Bland was warming up, and he is. But it's Joe Valentine coming in to try to close it out for Rick Burleson and see if they can finish the record, or with their record, at one game over 500. 16-15 if they're able to get 3 outs. There's no runs scoring. It'll be Johnny Gomes leading it off here in the bottom of the ninth inning for the Solar Sox.
And as you mentioned, Valentine will be trying to build on his league-leading save total. He's got 4, looking for number 5 here, well short of the AFL record.
Valentine's first pitch fastball up and in for ball 1. Valentine 1-0 and a 4.09 ERA in 12 games. 11 innings, 11 hits, 16 strikeouts, 5 walks. Gomes, a right-handed batter, open stance. Hands held high, takes the fastball at the knees, evens the count of the ball and the strike.
He's had a tremendous fall league season. They even got to play with Team USA for a day or two when they needed some outfield help.
299, 8 home runs, 22 ribeye. Delman Young awaits on deck. 1-1, fastball away. 2 balls and a strike.
He had an opening week to the AFL season, Big Gomes, that is about as good as you're going to see at any level anywhere. He basically could not get him out. Teammates are saying that they've never seen anybody that hot for that short period of time over the course of the first 7 days of the season.
2-1, that ball sky deep to left center field, but it's going to stay in play. Smitherman, near the warning track, makes a catch for out number 1. That ball was a moonshot.
It was. He got a pitch that he liked, and a little skip by Gomes as he goes back into the dugout. He just missed bringing the Solar Sox within a run here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, Delman Young will be the batter. What can you tell us about Mr. Young?
Oh, other than the fact that he was the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, it's interesting that this is his first professional experience of any sort. He signed too late to play in any short season ball or anything like that. Signed for a nice bonus. Dimitri Young's brother, of course, probably with more upside, although when Dimitri was a high school player, he was one of the most highly touted players in the country out of California. Delman Young has sort of also accelerated his timetable after his experience here. We'll have to see how he does in his first taste of full season pro ball.
Swings and misses on the off speed.
And that's the way to go at him right now. From everything anybody's told me, he's tremendously raw talent. But he'll swing at just about anything in the vicinity of home plate, so you're better off not throwing something in the strike zone.
Sure. The 1-2 pitch from Valentine, fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
course, now he's proven me wrong by working a deep count, but hey,
it happens.
It does.
Valentine, a right-hander, works from the stretch out of the Cincinnati Reds organization. 2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. And Young has worked the count full now with 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And I still think that even with the Devil Rays youth movement and their need to get guys up, that a guy right out of high school is going to need 2 years in the minors before they make it up to the big leagues. So that being said, you might see him some point in 2005.
Payoff pitch on the way. That's Sky to the right side and out of play. So we'll reset, do it all over again. Jonathan, always a pleasure having you in the booth.
I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'll be able to concentrate to join you for the entire ballgame if you'll have me.
Absolutely. Payoff pitch. Fastball bounces one in the dirt, and Young is on board.
He's played a lot of center field this fall league, and that was almost out of necessity. Adam Stern is a guy who normally probably would have played some center, but he went to Team Canada. A center fielder he is not, Delman Young.
No.
He played some in high school, but by all accounts, he projects as a corner outfielder. He's already a pretty big boy, in terms of his build. He does not look like a kid who just turned 18.
Right. So Adam Stern will come up, representing the tying run here in the 9th inning. Solar Sox trailing it by 2. Stern, check swing, fastball low, ball 1.
He's holding a collar right now, isn't
he? He's 0 for 4, including hitting into a double play. That's after he came in hitting .346 here in the Arizona Fall League. 1-0. Off speed, check the swing. No, he didn't. Mike Jost brings him up.
And they left to join Team Canada as they qualified for the Olympic Games in Athens in 2004 along with Cuba.
How about that?
The United States, of course, losing in the quarterfinal game against Mexico.
Well, that shows you how well balanced talent is worldwide nowadays. 1-1 slapped into the seats along the third base side. A ball and 2 strikes. Scottsdale trying to wrap up the regular season on a winning note. Came into this one at 15-15. The Solar Sox at 20-12, already headed to the championship game on Saturday. Jason Nix awaits on deck. The 1-2 pitch is Stern, fastball in the dirt. Bounced another fastball. It's a great play by Dane Sardina. Holds Young over at first base.
I think we're seeing what's probably held Joe Valentine back from reaching the big leagues a little sooner. People have always liked his arm, have projected him as a future closer, but has often struggled with command, especially of those pitches other than his fastball. He's got the live arm, but needs to be able to throw some of them for strikes a little more consistently.
2-2. Stern gets jammed, little flare towards the left side of the infield. Bruntlett, the shortstop, will make the catch for out number 2. So a tough day for Adam Stern. 0 for 5. And it'll be up to Jason Nix to keep this thing going. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Mesa trailing by 2.
Well, the sun hasn't gone down yet, Victor, but the lights are on, so I'm not sure about your wish to get this one done before the sun goes down. Are we still?
Well, I hope so. First pitch, fastball low, ball 1. Nix today doubled in his first AB, came around and scored. Singled, he was grounded out and walked, so he is 2 for 3. And if he's able to get a knock and keep the inning alive, Brendan Harris would be the batter because he awaits on that. The 1-0 fastball, low again. 2 balls and no strikes.
Nix will move up to Double-A this year after his fine season with the California League club and the Rockies organization. A lot of young second basemen. He and Josh Barfield. Barfield probably would have been here if not for off-season wrist surgery.
2-0 slider outside, 3 balls and no strikes.
Good competition maybe down the line of who the best young second baseman in the game will be.
Sure. Jake Gautreau, also one that many have talked about.
Well, that'll be interesting within the Padres organization because Barfield is pushing Gautreau as we speak as Nix draws a walk. But runners at first and second, and Brendan Harris comes to the plate with 2 outs. He already has one game-winning home run on his belt, a grand slam walk-off home run, in fact.
Well, Blaine Beatty's going to come out and talk to his pitcher, assuming he's telling Joe Valentine, you got to throw strikes.
That would be sage advice indeed.
Well, perhaps. At the very least, he is missing low, and if you're going to miss, that's exactly where you want to miss. So Harris will be the batter with 2 outs, runners at first and second base, tying run on at first. Harris representing the winning run. He does have a couple of home runs down here.
Yes, he does.
Batting for the right side. Valentine gets his shot. He'll come set. First pitch on the way. Fastball low. Ball 1. Harris with 3 home runs to be exact,
including that game winner, second or third game of the season for the Solar Sox.
Breaking ball missed high. 2 balls and no strikes. And
Valentine having some problems finding the strike zone right now.
Well, and, you know, Mike Jost, the home plate umpire, not helping him out. 2-0. There's a chopper to the right side. Could end it. Hairston's got it. Flips on the first in time. And finally, this game comes to an end. 3-1. The final here is Scottsdale Scorpions pick up the win and finish their season on a winning note. 16-15. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Scottsdale. 1 run on 9 hits, no errors for the Solar Sox. Jonathan, I can't wait until Saturday.
Me neither, Victor. I'll be counting down the hours.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. 2:45 Eastern Time. We will kick off the championship game because they will have the MVP ceremony down on the field. We will cover that live, and then 3:05 is first pitch of the Arizona Fall League Championship game. The Battle of the Mesa Clubs. The Solar Sox going up against the Desert Dogs. It'll be DeJuan Brazelton going up against Josh Hancock. So for Jonathan Mayo, Dan Gentili, Mike Ciano, Seth Everett, Billy Sample, Vinny McCucci, and everybody back in the New York studios, I'm Victor Rojas. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to talk to you on Saturday. Good night, everybody.